Welcome back to PC Payne Park, the home of the Bunbury Bulldogs, and we're looking forward to the clash between the Bunbury Bulldogs and the HBL Lions. It should be an absolute beauty this afternoon. Well, this is the Tyre Power pre-game show. John Bajetta, there was a couple of games that played on yesterday. Before I do that, we welcome everyone on the SEN stream, wherever you may be watching it in the world, or even where you just come from. Bali, John.
Yeah, it took me a while to get that.
Now, a couple of games were on yesterday. AMR took on Dunsborough, and I don't think there's any surprises here. AMR 12 goals 11-83 defeated Dunsborough 4 goals 9-32. Steve Payne and Kieran Yakas very good. Tell you what, Burgess for Dunsborough, he's done pretty well. Kicked another 3 goals in a season where goals haven't been plentiful for the new Sharks. He's done all right.
Yeah, and they also tell me that Wisey pulled the boots on for the Dunsborough reserves yesterday. So,
oh, did he really?
I don't think if he enjoyed his beer too much today, he'd be a bit stiff too, if that was the case. So, but well done, helped the club in need.
Well, that's the president pulled the boots on the week before of the Dunsborough Sharks. So, gee, that's a big move by Wisey. So we'll see how we go. In the other game, Donnybrook took on Collie, and much the same result there. 15 goals 12. Donnybrook 102 to Collie Eagles 8 goals 5-53. Cooper Clark Daring, well, he's had a magnificent season, kicked another 5. Jeff Smith back in that league side, kicked 4, and Potter 4. Jeff Smith, John, retired about 15 times, but he's still pretty handy.
Yeah, he's a bit like, I was trying to think, the guy that's always coming back, but no, again, they had a couple of injuries, a couple of like Mardo moved out of town, and they had to replace him, and Trigger had an operation, so they sort of had to get some targets down there, and I was saying young Dero's going pretty well, and having Smitty up there still doesn't matter how old he is, he's fairly fit, and you know, someone's got to man him. If you don't, either way, he's going to kick his couple of goals, so he'll do the job for him, and said they're fighting for a spot in the 5 and possibly in the top 3, so it'd be pretty important to him going forward.
Cooper Clark Daring, we spoke to him. He's a terrific young man because his dad, a fantastic footballer and cricketer. But he was telling us, you know, he would have been happy to play just get his name in the league side. He's done more than that. He's got in the league side. He's got picked in the Nutrien Ag side. He's got picked in the All Stars. And then he got picked in the state country side. So he's had a big rise, a quick rise to fame, if you like.
Yeah, you can see. I mean, I don't know a lot about him. I watched him play. I umpired a couple of Colts games where he played, and a little bit. He probably just needed a size 10 where it might fit. And someone's obviously had a chat to him. He's woke him up, and he's sort of fulfilling his potential, which is good to see. And they said every week you pick up the paper or go online, you see he's kicked his 3, 4 or 5. So he's doing his bit for the Dons, and see where his footy takes him. And
Ash Stewart, he took over the coaching of the Collie Eagles. It was a tough ask. They had to come from a long way back, but at least they're being competitive. You know, the 4-1 in the first quarter, 5-1. They just haven't got that class to continue on. But at least they're putting a bit of a fight up.
Yeah, I went up there and watched the young a few weeks ago. Now they played HBL, and again, it wasn't about the scoreboard. It was they put in, and you know they might have went down, but you know they made a game of it in actual play and pressure and things like that. So that's all you can ask. At the end of the day, sometimes the scoreboard's not going to go your way, but if you're having a crack, eventually things will straighten themselves up, and you'll start to get the rewards.
Just give you an update on the women's game, which is just in front of us. Bunbury 4-4-28 to HBL 3-1-19. Close game of footy going on. As is another couple of games this afternoon around the grounds. Eton will take on Bustleton out at Eton. Eton have performed pretty well at home, but they've been terrible away. Bustleton just starting to come good, and I think he's getting a few more members back. They'll probably put their most powerful side in for the year this week.
Yeah, when they're good, they're good, and when they're not, they're not. I suppose there's no other way to put it. I watched them play Kerry Park. I know it was wet, and I know Tenardi and Crichton didn't play, but yeah, that was a game they looked like they were going to win that early, and just when it needed to be won, they couldn't stand up. So I've seen them a couple of times, and I'll be honest, they have been disappointing, but I know, you put them couple of boys back in and they're a different side. I just think they're coming from a fair way back, and they're probably one that, I don't know, they need to win every game, win it well, and they need a bit of luck with the other sides dropping off. I doubt whether they'd make it, but funny things have happened.
Scott Tynan, he's been appointed as the league coach for the next 2 years after taking over from Chris Kinnemont earlier on in the season. I think it's a pretty good move by Eaton. You can mess around getting a coach, but at least this gives him a bit of time, John, to get things going.
Yeah, they've. I mean, he's been around the club a long time, so he knows the ins and outs of it all. And they just got to. It's a numbers game for them. They've got to get some numbers back to the club, get a bit better quality, and put a bit of work on the training track, and then they can start to turn it around. But like I said, he's put his hand up, so good on him.
This is the Tyre Power pre-game show. We're going to take a quick break, and then we'll be back with all the action of around, what is it, 16?
16. We'll go with 16. Sounds good.
back to SEN Spirits coverage of the Southwest Football. Payne Park is the venue, the home of the Bunbury Bulldogs, up against the HBL Football Club, a club that John Bajetta knows very, very well. Should be a good contest, a couple of big outs for the HBL side. Blake Offer out, Johnny?
Yeah, he's a little bit sore, so probably missing a few games. And the big one is obviously Blake and Connor Caboni. So two of their better players, there's going to miss a bit of drive through Connor and what Blake offers going forward. His aerial ability, and also he hits the scoreboard very regularly, so they're going to miss that. But at the end of the day, it brings a couple of kids in and they get an opportunity. So they've just got to work harder for longer and just hang in there and see what they can do. And
one Jordan Bajetta out of that back line leaves a bit of a hole too.
Yeah, unfortunately, the guys they got out, it's just they don't have a lot of experience. When I say a lot of experienced guys have played 50, 60, 70 games, and the ones that have been out, like Jared Humphrey's back today, but he's been missing. So your guys with the experience or your younger, better players, it just makes it hard when you lose one or two of them, and at the moment they've probably got 3 or 4 out. But no excuses. At the end of the day, you play with the hand you dealt, and they're sitting third on the ladder, so they should be happy.
Leading goal kicker so far in the Southwest Football League is a big Joel Horton. Let's have a look at a match up him, thanks to Southern Lock and Security. Who goes to Joel Horton? And there's a couple other. Jesse Gribble's running around the front. Young Parsons, Young Woods has been pretty good.
Yeah, I think Xavier Williams will go to Horton. The matchup with Parsons, I think, will be Tom Heenan. And Gribble, they did tell me who the matchup was, and I can't remember. So
you got a bit of inside knowledge there,
yeah,
mate.
I got a little bit of
And you forgot it.
The tipping, that's like my tipping, mate. That's how well it goes. It goes in one ear, out the other. But I mean, to me, I'd be Golter to Gribble. Young Ned Golter is a very, very good player. He's a good rebounder. He might have sacrificed a little bit, but I think his pace and the way he plays, it would be a real good matchup, and I still think he'd get his rebound if he can bring the ball to ground. He'd be a good matchup for Jesse Gribble. If they don't match up on him, he's going to be the difference in the game for sure.
And the women's game has just finished with a big win to Bunbury. They finished off very well. Bunbury 6 goals, 6-42 to HBL 3 goals, 1-19. I don't think HBL would be too disappointed with that. Bunbury have been a standout women's side for a long time, so HBL pretty good fight in that one, John.
Yeah, well, they had a shot on goal with 5 minutes to go, Croney. I was watching that, and they would have put them in front, and Bunbury went down and kicked the last 2 in the last 3 minutes. So, it was almost a good, would have been a bit of a shock, but anyway.
And in the Colts, this is a big win by Bunbury. 11 goals, 6-72, have defeated HBL, 10 goals, 6-66. I'm thinking that might be the first defeat for HBL in the Colts.
Yeah, I was just talking to Dave, Colts coach, before I jumped up here, mate, and like he said, at the end of the day, he'd rather it happen now than later on, but they're going to be the team to beat. I mean, half his side's playing league footy at the moment. Once he gets them back in the next few weeks, they're definitely, I've seen a few of their games, they're quite a smart side.
And in the reserves, Bunbury 4 goals, 4-16, were defeated by HBL 6 goals, 12-48. So pretty interesting day at the footy so far, John, but the big one is not far away. Now let's run back through our matchups for Southern Lock and Security. We've just seen Big Jack Fletcher, the big ruckman for HBL. He's been in fantastic form all season. And last week, Bunbury went with Woods in the bit, and Parsons in a little bit, where when Jamin King come onto the ruck, that made the difference.
Oh, they'd have to ruck King. I don't think the other 2 boys would get anywhere near Big Fletcher. Even Jamin would find it hard, but he's a workhorse, so what he lacks in height, he makes up in body strength, and he's able to contest where the other 2 boys would just get totally blown out of the water in the actual ruck contest. So, if it goes that way, then HBL have got to take the most of it. But I'd be very surprised if Bunbury went that way to start with.
Another 2 players that were really damaging last week for Bunbury against Kerry Park was Denham King and Harry Creasy. Harry Creasy seemed to have his own footy after half-time, and he was very damaging with his possessions.
Yeah, it's been funny. We've done a few of their games, and I suppose you mark these guys a bit harder once they've been up to the big smoke and they come back. But he hadn't his season was just tracking along. It wasn't, what we've seen of him in the past. He was just doing what he had to do. But Yeah, so it'd be interesting. He's obviously, to me, he's got many more levels to go from what I've seen this year, but he just seems to be sort of in a cruise control zone. So it'll be interesting to see if he gets out of that and he can up his game and give him that bit more run and carry that he so often does.
And Denham King has just left the Bulldogs out onto the ground, and there's a very interesting name that's popped up on the team list here, and people would know the name pretty well because he's an outstanding basketball, is Travis Durnan.
Yeah.
League debut for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, it's quite funny. I tried to recruit him at the start of the year. I run into him down the pub, and I had a club chasing a big guy, and someone introduced me to him, and I said, "Oh, here, mate, I'll send you down this way, and a bit of fuel money and whatever." And then in the end, with his basketball commitments, he just said, "I can't travel." He's sort of Bunbury was far enough to go, so be looking forward to seeing him play today. He talked it up, so we'll mark him down, Craney, and we'll remind him after the game whether it's good or bad.
Well, I watched him in the twos last week, and he's got that natural basketball flair. You know, the basketballers, when they get, Aaron Black was one the same, went on to play for North Melbourne and Geelong, but he's got a bit of that. Dylan Heisman's been in fantastic form too for the Bulldogs. 7 goals a couple of weeks ago, and he's a good, hard-running forward.
It's amazing what happens when you play a true forward in the forward line, isn't it?
You
know, for the last 2 or 3 years, and even earlier this year, he was up around the ball in the middle. He was in the back line and whatever. The day against South Bunbury, they should have won that game, and he was running across half-back, and the ball was slipping and sliding in the forward line, and he's a guy that's going to... That was his conditions and that was his stage, and all of a sudden it's taken him half a year this year to get him forward, and now the results are on the scoreboard because he's kicking, like you said, he's kicking his 3, 4, 5, 7 the other week. So, yeah, a forward's always a forward, as they say.
And he can kick the ball a long distance, can't he?
Yeah, I mean, he's when he sets himself, he's a very good kicker of the footy. But when he's around goals, he's got that goal sense, and he doesn't miss too many. So when you've got a strength like that, you've got to leave him to play to it.
Our umpires for this afternoon, Scott Jones, if you're looking and you're sitting at the ground, he's the one with those new shiny white boots on out there with the pink laces, looking pretty good, Jonesy. Braden Sorrell and Cam Valenti. And the boundary, Hudson Crawford, Brady Larson and Josh Jones. And in the goals, Damien Schiffelli and Joel Cherenbuff. So good luck to all them. Don't you reckon Jonesy's boots are looking pretty good out there? He wore them at Eton, actually, and they got covered in mud. So he's polished them up over the off week.
He's probably gone on board a new pair, Craney. He wouldn't have washed them.
Let's have a look. Let's have a look at your position. Both sides are in there. Huddles, we won't be too far away from a go. So a margin prediction thanks to Bunbury Tyre and Exhaust for 4-wheel drive tyres and rims, lift kits and GVM upgrades and general service. Bunbury Tyre and Exhaust, thanks for being on. Who's going to win this game, John, and by what margin?
Look, just from what we see and probably what we know, I would say Bunbury by about 38 points. I think HBL would want to try and get the ball out on the outside and run. That's probably their best chance. That worked for them last time around, and they've got some kids there that have got good wheels, and they've got to use their leg speed and kick the ball long. That was their strength early in the year if they can do that, but I just think Bunbury probably just too solid across the ground on each line, so it'll be interesting.
I'll have to agree with you. Blake Offer out, Connor Gaboni, there's 40 or 50 odd touches for HBL, and plus your young bloke Jordan. He leaves a bit of a hole in that defence against what is a very good forward line for Bunbury. Jared Humphreys, good to see him back out there. He missed quite a few weeks with a hand injury, but he is a very classy footballer when he gets it on his terms. Yeah,
he's going to play across half forward. I think he's not taped up, so he obviously thinks that hand's okay, and hopefully for his sake and his team's sake that it is, and he can get through today and push through, pushing into the finals. But it may suit him up there, a bit of ground ball and things like that, not be the target and be hit and whatever. We know he's very clean off the ground and things like that. So if he can chip in with 3 or 4, it'd be more than handy for him.
Emmett Templeton in the middle for HBL too. It's interesting. So they've got a bit of a younger midfield. HBL up against quite an experienced one for the Bulldogs. Scott Jones has the footy in his hands, making sure everyone's 6-6-6. We're just about ready to get this game underway. This is SEN Spirit, and this is John Bajetta.
Fletcher goes against Ernham. Fletcher out wide towards Anderson. He bounces once. He's got Berraclough on his tail. Drives the ball deep into the forward line. It's going to go wide. Who's going to win the race back to the footy? Was there a whistle? There was.
Kicked to Bunbury. There was a hold.
Was there? Okay. I was watching the ball almost roll out of bounds, but it looks like Bilsich, is it? He's a recipient of a hold. About 35 out from his defensive goal. He comes coach's box side, down the wing. Number of players up. Berraclough in front. He takes a good mark. Handballs quickly inside to Kerwin. He runs to the tip of the square. Drives towards Parsons. He's got Heenan on his hammer. Parsons tries to control the footy. He's outnumbered. In there goes Saunders. Gives a quick handball out towards Piper. He can't take the footy. Number of players around it. Now Piper goes in. Oh, well picked up there by, I can't see who it was. That was Piper. The other player with the long sleeves was Johnny Fenwick. Number of players around it again. Good tackle. Players brought to ground, but the umpire had already blown the whistle.
How good was that knock, Fletcher, to Anderson? And Anderson's quick. You wouldn't want to chase him.
No, you don't want to be behind him, that's for sure. On that far wing, Duran wins a ruck knock. He's gone in the ruck. Johnny Fenwick, almost in the centre of the ground, wheels across his far side. Number of players out. Out comes Jodrell for his first game this year. He's quite a clever player, this kid, Croney. Onto his left boot, drives it into about 40 metres out. Young Hammer comes out, young Ward. Taken there by Jared Humphreys off the pack. It bounces once at Bell, just breaks to the right. HBL hit the scoreboard. It rolls through for one behind. Very well roved there, as we said. He's clever, is Humphreys, and if he can do that a few times today, I think he'll bring the crowd into the game.
Very bright start by HBL. They were onto it quickly. That was a magnificent bit of play by, was that Jordell?
Yeah, Jordell, yeah. He played some
clever.
real good games last year. He works away. He's been playing twos because he's not here very often. But I think just weight of numbers, I had to bring him in today, which is good to see.
Well, just a little bit of that class. I'd find a spot for him.
So Kerwin brings in. He hits Heisman at half back. He just chips into the middle of the ground, and up there is King in. I always get the two boys mixed up. That's Denham. He takes the ball at centre half back. Chips inside to Berraclough, just inside the centre square. He goes one way outside to Kerwin by hand. He just chips over the top to Perks on the wing in front of us, Craney. What's he going to do? He goes into the true centre half forward position. Over the back there is Woods, and he just stands his ground uncontested, and he takes an easy, as you like to see, mark about 40 metres out directly in front, and that was just way too easy.
Yeah, it was an easy mark, but he showed a bit of courage because he had no idea what was behind him then, and he stood firm then, did young Woods. The kick was good, but that was a pretty good mark. I know it turned out easy, but you can see it from here, but he wouldn't have had any clue, so well done, young man.
No, the young HBL player that was coming into the contest just had to keep coming in and just destroy, but being a young guy, probably thought there's someone else there, and I'll let it go. That kick's hung up, and it hasn't killed. The goal umpire's gone to ground. The Bunbury player's tackled in the square. There's a mob of players around it. The goal umpire just gets to his feet. We shouldn't laugh at him. But anyway, about 3 metres out. I got to laugh, Croney. 3 metres out, we've got a ball up in the Bunbury goal square.
I'm sure Joel won't mind that.
HBL trying to run that through. Picked up there by Anderson, right off the goal line. He handballs over the top. Back to the 1-2 goes Anderson. He's brought down in a good tackle. Saunders has ridden into the ground. Play on's a call. Number of play. Anderson goes in again for his third possession. He goes out wide to Piper. He goes one way or the other. Gets onto that right boot on that far wing. Just chips down the line. A player there in Jodrell again on his left boot. Drives that towards young Ward. He's outnumbered. Bunbury, what can they do? Player there picked up in Gilchrist, I think it was. He goes outside. Ward, is he going to look for the boundary line? He should, because he's outnumbered. He's brought to ground. The umpire says throw it in. It must have rolled over.
There's a different bit of breeze going to HBL end, the city end, and because that one by Jet Woods for heading towards support end definitely
that held up. Yeah,
definitely pulled up.
The player down there at full back is Liam Renton, not Gilchrist. So Fletcher, he just takes it out of the air, just whacks it onto the boot. Jodrell's pushed out by Kerwin. What's the umpire going to call? He says that's okay. Did he? No, one way. That was. I did say pushed out, so maybe I did.
You were correct.
I was correct.
And a good call by the umpires.
Yep. So Jodrell for about his third possession in a couple of minutes, just chips that inside. Ward comes out. He goes to ground. Now Renton's able to take the footy. He keeps his feet over the top to Perks. He goes over the top there to his teammate, but down the line it goes. Anderson over the top there was big Fletcher, so no one can get a free ball here, and the umpire right on that far half-forward flank for HBL. There's going to be a ball up.
Just a message out to young Ward there. You did very well, but you need to jump up a bit quicker.
Yep. Up they go again. Fletcher. Jernan can't get over the top. He goes down now. Berraclough picks it up. He just chips it out. Piper's sitting there. Drives that boot straight back into the forward line. It carries Armitage in that deep forward pocket.
Gee, you're right there, John.
Yeah,
that did carry. Definitely carried.
I thought
Armitage was in the box seat there.
He
and
was.
It went, well over his head.
And I at first thought, he's going to mark this on the chest here, but just went. And I know he's only short, Ty, but it carried him by a mile. So deep in that forward pocket, the boundary throw in. It carries, misses everyone. Picked up there, play without the footy. What's the umpire going to call? No, we'll have a ball up 40 metres out from the HBL goal. Young Templeton, that was. HBL 1 behind 1. Lead Bunbury yet to hit the scoreboard. Up they go. Fletcher. Durham wins a knock this time. Over the top. Berraclough. No, he can't take it. Good work there by the player there in... see when he gets up. I can't see who it is. Quick kick out of the pack. Again by young Saulis it was. He had a couple of efforts there. So Kerwin, he meets the ball. Comes out wide this half-forward flank. In towards the King direction. Denham King. A true half-back flank on the point of the square. He's got runners out wide. He's got a loose player in Perks. Horrible kick off the back foot. He's right in front of his coach. He just kicks down the line there to the player in Oliver. On the true wing position. Chips over the top to, young Durham.
He's our new man.
First possession. Kicks in low. Fletcher goes to the ground. Picked up there. Well done there by Matty Fenwick. He goes over the top. Misses everyone.
That's not so good though.
No, it wasn't. Niski picks up. He goes towards Creasy. Takes his eye off the ball. Now, that was play on there by the umpire. Creasy's looking for the free kick. He shouldn't have fumbled it. So simple as that.
I reckon this breeze is going to swing, actually, John. I'd be surprised if it sticks out.
It always comes back down to City End, Croney. Yep. If you can kick with it to start with, you tend to get 3/4 with it. Johnny Fenwick tries to go out of the pack. Right at on the edge of the centre square, Bunbury centre half forward position. We've got another ball up. 1 leads 0. HBL in favour.
Thanks to the Bank of Queensland Bunbury for your support.
And Southwest Isuzu scoreboard. So Anderson, he can't get his kick
Are you on to it today, Johnny?
I certainly am, Croney. It's been a while since I've been here. Field, he just whacks it on the boot. It goes out wide. Durnan takes a good mark on that far high half forward. Point of the centre square. He's got quite a powerful kicking action. Woods, it's come off hands. No, the umpire
I reckon
played
he
that.
took it. I'll tell you what, Durnan's had a couple of early touches for his league debut, and he looks the part.
If he's smart, he'll run around. He looks like he's mobile enough. He's really should be getting on his bike and making Fletcher work, because Fletch doesn't have any chop out, and no doubt Bunbury have options of a couple of blokes here that can go through the ruck. So Woods, he goes back. This holds up again, but right on the goal line, and it's a good mark taken down there by young Parsons. So the HBL defenders really knew that ball was going to hold up. No one sort of wanted to worry about the ball, more so the man, but Parsons just stood there and read the flight of the ball better. He's right up against the boundary. He's only 5 or 6 metres out. What's he going to do? He's going to come around, he's going to check side, and he's going to put that straight through the middle. Is he? Yep, the goal umpire says that's over my head. So Bunbury, they hit the scoreboard 1 straight 6. No, we've got a score review, have we? No one's sure what's going on. Well, they're going to make a fool of my call, are they, Croney?
No, what's happening? That's a bit of a...
They're not sure.
Putting a bit of drama to it, John.
Maybe when he fell over before it.
No, it's definitely a goal.
It was a goal. He didn't move from where his position, and normally that's a good indication of where it's gone. I think it went straight over his head, but he's clarified that now. Bunbury moved 1 straight 6, lead HBL 1 behind 1, and we've been playing about 8 minutes in the first quarter.
Very, very strong hands there from young Parsons.
It was a good
very
mark.
Talented young man. He had a fair bit of pressure around him, but like you said, Johnny, they seen it about 5 minutes before the shot from Woods pulled up short. They knew it was going to pull up short. They allowed Parsons to get in a very good spot. Pretty good finish by the young man, though. Yep.
It's all about into the wind, just taking the opportunities and making the most of it. But,
and we're looking for a tackle of the game, thanks to Bunbury Mower Service too. So there'll be a few of them this afternoon. That's a good
knock. That was a real good knock. He goes to Denham King. He handballs wide to Kupiniski on that far wing. He goes one way or the other. Over the top there, back to King. What's he going to do? He goes longer on his handball out towards field, is it? He runs inside, kicks that ball to about 40 metres out. Oh, good contest there, well defended. In there goes Johnny Fenwick. He can't take it. Now Woods back in there. Loose ball picked up there by Horton. He handballs back to Durham. He just pops that ball over the top, but Piper's going to come back through in front of Munro. And what's the umpire going to call? He's called play on now. Well, that's not how the umpire should be adjudicating that. If you watch the AFL, that would have been 50. But anyway.
I think everyone's confused with the AFL as well, John.
Shouldn't be a stand rule full stop. But anyway, Xavier Williams on the defensive 50-metre arc. Chips down the line to Anderson. Again,
started off well.
He started very well. He goes inside the skipper, but falls short. The 1-2 from Piper back to Johnny Fenwick. He comes down towards Armitage. A good kick, good low spearing kick. Up comes Ward on the lead. He's got Renton over the top. Now the ball carries both. Again, Craney, that had a bit of carry on it. So rolling down towards the deep forward pocket for HBL, but Bunbury have the numbers. They go one way or the other. Perks over the top there to his teammate in, I think it's Jamin King. He goes long down that wing out there. Well done there by Jeff Saunders. He just comes in front of the player there in Hamish Hall and takes an easy mark. He chips inside to Anderson. He just chips down the line towards Finucane. On that wide half-forward flank, onto his right boot he comes, chips inside. A good lead from Jodrell. He just doesn't take it clean. Over the top comes the Bunbury player for the spoil, and it's a good tackle out there. That's a good tackle, Craney. I don't know what it was.
The tackle for Bunbury Mower Services, John?
That was young Jodrell. That was a good tackle because Bunbury were out there and they had an extra. But
let's put a little mark next
to his name and a T so we understand what it's for. Fletcher just hooks that back. Has he got a runner? Now he has young Saulis, is it? No, it was Humphreys. He just couldn't quite take it.
Do you know something you rely on as a coach too? For players to pick up the carry of that win or the dropping, you can't do that as a coach. Players need to organise that. A couple of HBL have misjudged that ball as its carry.
They certainly have. Geez, that was a horrible kick over the top. They got away with it and Borlelli's taken a ball. Bortini, it is. He's got the kick deep in his defence. He comes up towards Perks. He's one way or the other. He goes out wide to Kerwin. He chips down the line here. Well done there by Armitage. Play on's a call. Oh, that's high. He's going to get the second kick as the Bunbury player there in Babbage, right in front of his coach. What's he going to do? He's going to try and come inboard. He goes back across half back now. He's got a loose there. Oh, good stretch there by Bortolini. He goes inside to Hamish Hall. He takes a mark almost in the middle of the ground. Not a lot on offer. He's got Gribble out on the far side. So Johnny Fenwick and Gribble, bit of experience out there between the two. But a real good mark there by Jesse Gribble. He then wheels, comes back inside, chips inside there towards Woods. The ball doesn't carry to him. Oh, good shepherd off the ball there by Saunders. Allows Heenan to go down the line. Good kick towards Jodrell, is it? He takes a good overhead mark. Wheels onto that left boot. Comes inside. Great kick towards young Ward. He drops a soda about 35 metres out. Humphreys trying to work on a loose ball. Picked up there by Renton, is it? He goes out wide towards Trey Field. He goes over the top. Gribble's got, is it? No, Siniski. He's got a paddock. He then comes back inside to his teammate who gave it to him in the first place, but a horrible kick. Oh, well, Ned Galton misses what he should have taken. Heisman picks up, drives inside, but a good defensive mark in front of Woods was Matty Fenwick. He's got young Templeton, got a paddock out here. He elects to go towards Piper in that back pocket. Templeton, he's been shut down. The kick's good enough, and he marks in front of his coach's box. So it's play in front of the coaches at the moment, Craney.
You want to do the right thing in front of them, though, don't you?
Over the top on the wing, he goes towards Johnny Fenwick. Jodrell comes up. Good mark, is it? Play on's a call. It just hit the ground. Xavier Williams lends support. He's tackled once. Gets a handball back to skipper in Fenwick. He's forced to go over the top. Rush kick, and Babbage just stands his ground on half back.
A few turnovers for sides of this quality.
Both of them just sort of feeling out conditions more than anything. A real good lead there by Woods. Right in the middle of the ground, he takes a mark 30 metres in front of his opponent. He goes wide. He should have went down the middle of the ground. Out there's Ninsky. He's just running towards boundary. They haven't gained nothing for the advantage they set up then. He goes one way or the other. Gets around. Oh, just a horrible looking kick. Rolls in towards the big fella there in...
Parsons,
was it? Yep. Oh, handball. Heenan now runs out of defence. Runs through half back. One way. Goes straight down the line. In front of one of the young guys there for HBL in young Latrell May. If he gets it, Craney, this kid's got some tricks. He tries to work with the Bunbury opponents a bit clever. He's got a few more years on his head on his shoulder. So Jared Humphreys picks up a loose ball. He just kicks it into the scrum, and she's gone out of bounds about 50 metres out from the HBL goal. On that far side, 6 plays 1. Bunbury with the advantage. HBL kicking with probably a goal and a half breeze.
John Fenwick coming off for a bit of a rest onto the Harvey Norman interchange bench. He's been very influential in the first.
He's had a good start
of this game.
So
HBL haven't got the reward that
they've pushed. Oh, Humphreys, well done by Fletcher. He gives it to Humphreys. He's right on top of the D. He squares up, and now Jodrell. That was a great kick. It was also a good lead because he led to his foot. He didn't try and make Jared Humphreys kick the impossible, and now can Marcus, I think it's Marcus's twin boys. It is Marcus. This
is the first time I've seen this young fella. I don't know whether he's young or not, but he showed enough in this first 15 minutes of this quarter that he can play this game.
He played a few games last year, very strong above his head, a very good true half-forward flanker. Now he comes in about 45 out. We'll put the mocker on in Craney. That's not a bad-looking kick. She straightened up. Oh, she just swung at the last minute and misses to the right, so they move to 2 behinds 2. Trail Bunbury 1 straight 6. And we'll be ticking. We haven't got the timekeeper's clock. He's on the other side of the wall today, so we can't see. But we'll be.
And thanks to WA Carpet Supermarket, we're looking for the best on ground this afternoon. So we want looking for a 4-quarter effort this afternoon from these players, John.
I think it will take a 4-quarter effort for teams to be able to. It's going to be an arm wrestle. It's not going to be easy. The conditions are going to. if anything, I think it'll probably suit HBL because it's going to keep the game locked up, where Bunbury, I think, as we said, with a few more senior players out there, once they get going, they'll be quite strong. So long kick goes out wide. Good mark. No, it's spilt there out wide by Ferguson. Over the top, the Bunbury player. It was a good mark taken out there by Williamson on that far wing. He chips inside. Horton comes out, puts the jukes out. He takes it, gives it back to Williamson. He's still about 70 metres out from his goal. Over the top, horrible handball to Horton, but he's good enough to make it look good. Just chips over the top towards Heisman. He's going to take a mark. He plays on. He's got a loose in passes at the top of the goal square. A big alley-oop over the top, and he's able to dribble that through from about 15 metres out. He was good enough to keep his composure, check side the ball, just roll it off the end of his boot. They move to 2 straight 12, lead HBL 2 behinds 2, a very handy 10-point lead to the Bunbury Bulldogs.
That's on the Harvey Norman scoreboard. You're right there, John. They did that very well. That's a real team goal to go. And that Denham King rubbing his leg a little bit. Hope he's all right. Just have a quick around the grounds thanks to Geograph Civil. Geograph Civil do a wonderful job around the Bunbury area. And Bustleton, 2 goals, 8-20. Lead Eaton, 3 goals, 1-19. So pretty interesting first quarter of footy.
Yep, keep the kicking boots on
As
there.
has this one been. As has this one been. It's been pretty entertaining. HBL had quite a few opportunities. Just
They've had a lot of the play.
Just
a
couple of those marks that should have been taken, haven't.
And especially inside the forward 50, in the middle of the ground, the player there in young Emmett was held. So play on's a call. Now the ruckman there in Parsons, handballs to Gribble. He gives it to Bilsich, I think it was. Out comes Xavier Williams. He misses what he should have taken. Woods picks up a ball. Handballs back towards King. He's got players all around him. He dives over the top of the footy. Play on's a call. HBL player there in young Cuxon's taken without the footy. He's going to take the free kick about 45 from his defensive goal.
What HBL don't want to do here is let Bunbury get too big a lead because they'll play better than that.
They've got to move the ball quick. They're getting enough ball and they're doing it by moving it quick. So Ward, I think that was, young Fraser Ward, his kick has been cut off there on the wing in front of us, Craney, by young Oliver. So it's fairly stagnant in front of him. He just chips inside, but Anderson's going to cut this off. If he can get around field, he'll go, but he can't. Now handball's loose handball for two-hand son. So Field goes back in. He picks up the footy, goes to Cruxon. He cuts off for HBL. Golter, he's over. He's taken high. Again, Fraser Ward, he handballs back towards Anderson. He just backpedals.
Looking for
says,
something.
What am I going to do? He's forced to go down to a 2-on-1. Fletcher's got the size. Well done there by young Parsons. Fletcher's got the strength now. He's close to the boundary line.
Well
He's got
done,
no
big
support,
fella.
but he's done very well. Jared Humphries, that's looked good off the hands. Bunbury just had the numbers there. Again, Oliver, he's kicked down the line, but HBL, probably lucky there. Finucane coming late, so Bunbury were well outnumbered. HBL in the box seat to take that, but Wood's going to be the recipient of the down the field free kick.
He started the game very well as young Woods.
He's had plenty of possession. He's got to come back around,
just going to wander down there and kick a goal. Woods, he can't do that, mate.
Got to come right around. That's the second time. Now play on. So in front of us, the kick goes to true centre forward. He goes to probably the smallest man on the ground in Heisman, but Johnny Fenwick stood taller, and he's taken an uncontested mark at half back. He switches out wide towards Piers Ferguson. What's he going to do? He's held up, so they need some numbers now.
They need to peel to that other
Jodrell's
side.
led up hard, but a good kick there to young Latrell May. He's taken a good mark on the centre wing.
So he's one to watch, is he, for
Yes, this kid's got some serious talent.
Hemp Brothers rising star.
That's how you put the micker on it.
Yeah.
Mocker on him. He comes back inside, but Jesse Gribble's standing in the middle of the ground. He goes long wide towards half forward, and standing his ground is Tommy Heenan. He has a bounce 30 metres from his defensive goal. HBL have the numbers out this side. Piper stands under the wing in front of us. Craney takes an uncontested mark.
Premiership player with you, John?
He certainly was. He kicked 5. He keeps reminding me of that. He comes down the line to young Saulis. He takes a mark in front of us here on this top side. 12 plays 2. All Bunbury's way on the scoreboard. Fletcher takes an uncontested mark right up against the boundary on this wing. Again, they don't have the height down there, so they're going to play kick to space. Kerwin's under this. Humphrey's going to come out and go crunch. He's knocked off the line of the ball. Young Ward takes it, gives it to Humphreys on the left boot, keeps it low, scrubbers it, and again she bounces to the right-hand side. HBL 3 behinds 3. Trail Bunbury 2 straight 12. And again, Craney, they've had all the play. Well, they've probably had 70% of the play.
They haven't got reward for effort. That's what say. Bunbury get another one here. They end up with a pretty handy lead.
Yeah.
And HBL have played better than that. Tell you what, Jared Humphries, his first game back for a while, a little bit rusty, but he's got a lot of the footy early.
Got a lot of touch. Definitely has. He definitely doesn't lose his touch with a bit of a break.
Absolutely.
So Kerwin, he comes out wide towards Berraclough. He takes a mark right on the 50-metre line on the defensive 50, so he's just going to chip down the line to Perks.
HBL need to cover these exits a little bit.
If they can do that, especially with the wind, don't let him out so easy. Over the top, she comes towards Durnan. The fist is going to come from Heenan, but he's got a good set of hands as a basketballer. Right in front of us on your centre wing. So the kick's going to go in low. He does. He's got a nice kick for a big guy. Williams works Horton off the ball, and he takes a
terrific
a
grab.
real good wrestling mark, I would say.
It's hard to beat Big Joel. He's a very solid
He
contributor.
planted in early then. He got his hips in the right place, and Horton couldn't get back in the line of the ball. So Xavier Williams, again, at least they're playing this top side, Craney. Jodrell goes early. Over the back goes, the umpire's paid a free to Bunbury. So... Again, Durnan's going to take the free kick right in front of the interchange lines. He goes inside to Creasy for his first touch. He chips inside to Hall.
Oh.
He misses everything. No, comedy of errors out there. Now Latrell May runs on.
He half meant that. It just didn't work.
Didn't work, no. Pierce Ferguson on the left foot. He goes down towards forward. Renton goes to ground. Leaves Humphreys. He's got Ward on his own. Oh, he sells a bit of candy out there. Now he's got time and space. He goes for home. Over towards the goal umpire, and that's gone. I thought that went through, Craney.
I've just had Western Oil Pest Services goal of the day. The way he dummied around that player and lined up, gee, was running in from 30.
He could have went further too, but I watched the ball go past the post, and I thought it was all...
everything looked good, didn't it, except the wrong side of the post.
I thought it was all yellow on one side, but the post is fairly yellow as well by looking at that. A bit of ball water stain.
A bit of good ball water?
Yeah. So, I don't know who the player is bringing it out from full back. He's got some nice white boots. It might be Perks, is it? It comes out towards Bilshitz. Jodrell over the back, almost Craney for the mark of the day.
We're looking for that, aren't we? CPR outdoor centre mark of the day.
Certainly is. Babbage picks up. He goes inside towards Hall. He is on his left boot. Comes out wide now towards... well done by Piper. Oliver was underneath it. Piper. Jodrell picks up. He gives a big fend off. Inside towards Saunders with a handball. He goes on his left boot. Just get it inside and see what can happen, boys. Berraclough cuts off. Runs to the defensive 50. Just chips out wide here towards Creasy. He dies but can't take the slips cash, and she rolls out of bounds just around from the Bunbury Bulldogs coach's box.
Young Saunders is pretty handy too, Johnny.
He's very dogged. He is one of them guys that if you give him a job or if there's a ball in his area, he's just like a dog with a bone. You just don't get away from him. I remember we called a game a while ago and he laid tackle after tackle. Got a lot of time for the young fellow. The boundary umpire throws it in. About 60 out from the HBL goal. Durham takes it out of the air this time. He handballs over top. The umpire's called what? He's called a hold. So
thanks to MGIB, like a good neighbour, MGIB is there. Thanks for your support, Gags. Absolutely brilliant.
So 12 Bunbury Bulldogs, 2 straight, 12 lead. HBL 4 behind 4 on the southwest side. Isuzu. Armitage is taken high this time. I just reading the scoreboard, Craney. I took my eye off the play. So he's too far out to score. Drives out to the hot spot. All down there. Horde goes over the back again. As you said, she's carrying. Perks leads the race the ball. He's got Humphreys on his hammer and brings him down to good tackle. But they're forced over the line, and the boundary umpire says, give it here. I'll throw it in about 3 metres around from the point post. Deep in the attack for HBL. We must be ticking down close to quarter time.
Tell you what, it'd be a good
they
position
need a goal
for a
here.
Small forward down there, Johnny, because the ball's just carrying over those forwards.
On a day today, you'd be playing behind. The coach always says 100%. Play in front, but you'd be definitely playing behind today. As we said, right on the quarter-time siren.
Well called, Johnny Bajetta. What have we got on the Southwest Isuzu scoreboard? Bunbury 2 goals straight, 12 to HBL 4 goals, 4 points.
4 points.
4 straight points, Johnny. 4.
They'd be hoping they had the opportunity to put 4 goals on the board, but anyway.
They definitely did that. This is SEN Spirit. First quarter done and dusted. We'll be back shortly for the second quarter. Welcome back to PC Payne Park. A very entertaining first quarter, although quite a few mistakes made, quite a few turnovers. Players had a little bit of trouble adjusting to that breeze. But on the scoreboard, on the Southwest Isuzu scoreboard, we see Bunbury 2 straight, 12 to HBL. I'll get it right this time, Johnny. 4 points, 4. So pretty interesting first quarter. 2 goals to Braden Parsons for the Bunbury, and he was the only goal kicker for that match. A fair bit of going on, but not much happening on the scoreboard, John, but a few turnovers.
Yeah, and it was open. Like, it wasn't like it was a congested game. There was players had opportunities, both sides to run the ball in, probably more so HBL. I think they probably had 65% of the play. Just probably had to back himself a little bit more, and I think going with that win, you can already see the socks sort of starting to swing around a little bit, so that might take the edge off the sides kicking deep into attack and it carrying over the back, but as we said a minute ago, if you're a forward, you wouldn't be scared to sort of hang out the back a little bit and cheat today, because the ball is going to get out the back at different times. So it'll be sort of who sort of keeps their eye on the flight of the footy and reacts the quickest when it goes down that end with the breezes favouring at the moment. But all in all, I think HBL, as we said, have had a fair bit of the ball. Bunbury have obviously looked dangerous with Horton, and I mean, Woods has had a good first quarter inside the attacking 50. A couple of his shots held up that could have easily been scores on the board. So this quarter HBL probably have to hang on for dear life, and if Bunbury can get going, then they, for the game's point of view, we don't want to see it blow open straight away. But a couple of their guys have been quiet, and if they can get hold of the footy, Creasy and a few others, they could sort of make this scoreboard look a little bit too hard to come back at half time. But to HBL's credit, they're a little bit undermanned, but they're doing quite well.
Quick around the grounds, thanks to Geograph Civil. Bustleton, 4 goals, 10, would you believe? Keeka 34, lead Eaton 3 goals, 1-19. We're just about to start the second quarter. This is SEN Spirit and John Bajetta.
Fletcher down and goes to Saunders. He's held without the footy. Bearclough just throws it. Now that paddles back. Creasy picks it up.
The man you were just talking about, John?
We must have heard us. He said, I'll show you how to get the footy. Woods comes in. He gets underneath a bit much. Now Heisman picks up a loose ball. He's pushed off, and the umpire says, yep, that was a fairly aggressive push.
Big chance from here is Dylan Heisman too.
So he's going to kick from about 45 metres out. He's on the far left of screen, as we would say.
And that's what Bunbury have got the ability. We spoke pre-game that they have the ability to score very quickly, and you look at the scoreboard and they've got a substantial lead, and you go, where did that just happen from, as Heisman has his shot?
He's up and under, and she's stayed left, and it's hung out there, and another behind. So
might be the day for it, John, with Bustleton out there with 10 points.
It's funny, your trend, as they say, the trend is a friend. And,
it does, doesn't it? It seems to go through the side.
Certainly does. 2-1-13 lead, 4 behinds 4 on the Southwest Isuzu scoreboard as we tick early on in the second quarter. Down the line it goes on that far side. No one can pick up the loose ball. Player on hands and knees was Xavier Williams, I think it is out there. He's wrapped up. Now Fletcher, he's slung as he goes to kick. Piper cut, is it Johnny Fenwick? He tries to pick it up, but Bearclough, he runs to 50, unloads to the top of the goal square, but again, she stays left and through for a minor score. So maybe it's that end, Craney, where it's
maybe it is that city
the magnet draws at either side of the post.
Yeah, look, but Bunbury are doing all the attack in early stages of this second quarter.
Certainly are. So Xavier Williams to bring the ball back in. What's he going to do? He goes to that far defensive side, puts it up and under. Who's underneath it? Fletcher and Durham. They wrestle. Fletcher's too strong. He gets both hands to it. Couldn't mark it. Good tackle there. Player there in young Templeton's wrapped up on that far side. And the umpire said, give it out. About 70 metres out from the Bunbury goal. We'll have a ball up.
Thanks to City and Regional Fuels too, so your support.
To all our sponsors, yep, it wouldn't be possible without you guys. So Fletcher slaps that down the line towards Anderson. He just up and over. Kerwin's going to, he gets the away bounce over the back. It goes to Jodrell. He needs his left boot. Swings back inside. He's got a player in the middle of the ground, Ferguson, but he's got a player there in number 14 for Bunbury. Where is he? Oliver. He brings it to ground. Now socket off the ground. Bilsich wins. He's leading the race. Heenan goes in. He goes in and goes low. Picks up the loose ball. Man. He runs through to the middle of the ground. Drives it towards half forward. Young Ward comes out. Young Hammer, he runs onto a ball. Inside goes to Blake Saulis. He's going to run to the top of the goal square, straight over the goal umpire's head. And HBL said, well, we couldn't do it in the first quarter, but we'll make it easy. And that was a great pick up by Tommy Heenan in the middle of the ground.
Yeah, Tommy Heenan, he set the tone for that. Everyone was looking around, fiddling around. He said none of that. He went straight through, 100 mile an hour, and a nice finish by HBL. That's probably their best link-up of play all day. They've been threatening to do that, Johnny, but that actually worked out in a terrific goal that sets a bit of a trend. Bunbury had all the early stages of that quarter, then HBL, it always happens, just turned it up and went bang.
You were right when you said they all looked at it, because it was even numbers, and Heenan he went low and he stayed low, and
he just had a beeline for the footy.
And he's got pace, so he was always going to get through there pretty quick. Bearclough was coming the other way, and I thought, well, look out, but no, he was just too quick through traffic. Up they go. Durham goes over top of Fletcher. Bearclough picks it up. He just whacks it onto the boot. Horrible spiralling punt, but back goes Johnny Fenwick. Can't take it. Again, that man, Heenan. He misses what he should have taken that time. It was a Bunbury player leg there in Creasy. Play on's a call. It was King, actually. Oh, well done there by young Templeton. He gets the ball back towards Johnny Fenwick. He squeezes towards Piper. He had to mark that in front of Niski, and he does. He's got a runner, but he elects to kick himself. Goes towards Anderson. If it sits up for him, Craney, he's off to the races. There's no way they're going to catch him. He drives towards Jodrell. He goes up. Well sport there by Kerwin. Bunbury got a 2-on-1 if they keep it in, and they do. He comes back. No, the umpire called right in front of the scoreboard, which reads 2-1-13 Bunbury. They lead HBL 1-4-10 on the Southwest Isuzu scoreboard, early stages of the second quarter. Bunbury would have been out then. They had the extra, but the boundary umpire was right in the right spot.
Get that hearth-house feeling, John. Find smart home climate control systems, air conditionings and fireplaces in Hearth-house, Bunbury and Bustleton.
Durham just drops it down towards Niski. He can't take it through there when Saunders picked up by Big Fletcher. He slams it on the boot. He's check side, but it just stays.
We're still looking for that Western All-Purpose Services goal of the day. And Big Fletcher, well, he did everything right, John. Just forgot to kick the goal.
I thought he was going to pop it over to young Blake Saulis, and as Bunbury had one goal scorer, I thought HBL young Saulis was going to be there multiple. But anyway, Kerwin, what's he going to do this time? He's going to come to us up here, Craney. He does, right in front of us. Comes on this wing. Parsons, he's underneath it. No one can take it. Oh, well done there by, again, that man Heenan. He's in everything at the moment. He can't quite pick it up. Pushed off the line of the ball by Parsons. He just flicks it out towards field. He goes over towards King, double-handed.
Well played.
A bit too flashy there for Oliver. Gribble comes over top. Well wrapped up there by young Saunders. As
he's
we said,
goer, young Saunders,
isn't
he?
Like a dog with a bone when he gets his teeth into it, Craney, and you won't break one of his tackles.
There's not much of him, but he just
nothing
tackles.
of him, but you wouldn't believe he's a doctor. So up they go. Durnan, beautiful knock over the top there. Creasy, he goes inside, now onto the left side. Barraclough ride shotgun. Chips inside towards Woods. It pitches in front of him. Good pick up. He handballs wide to Denham King. It bounces on the 50-metre arc. Runs inside to 45. Low kick. Is it going to carry? It did, but it went wide. And now Bunbury have the jitters. They move. I think that scoreboard might be wrong. I think they have a couple of points that haven't been put up at the moment. I'd be saying they're 2-3, maybe even 2-4. We'll see what happens when they catch up. They lead HBL 1-5.
That was a pick-up by young Woodson on the half volley. Very well done.
It just hit that sand patch, so it didn't. It probably just fluffed off the ground instead of bouncing off, and it sat nicely for him, but he made it look easy. Good kick out there, goes wide. A good mark taken out. Play on Piper. His handball's cut off there by Field, is it? It's kicked into players, and it's ricocheted off someone's shin, and Bunbury are going to take the free kick far and wide on the far side. Niski, I think it is, about 65, 70 metres out from goal on the boundary on that far side of PC Payne Park. Horton leads up. The kick goes in. It's going to carry, is it? Oh, had a bit on it. And through the hands of Horton. Now a number of players over the top of it. It goes low. And what do we got here? Ball it up. 40 metres out from the Bunbury goal on the far side of PC Payne Park. Scoreboard reading 2-12. I reckon it's 2-3-15. Play HBL 1-5-11 on the Southwest.
Let me confirm that for you, John. 2-3-15, 1-5-11.
Yep. Didn't think I was going crazy just yet, Croney. Anyway, Anderson, down the line it goes. A number of players up. Durnan drops what he should have taken. Now HBL pick up a loose ball. In there goes Saulis. A throw's called, is it? No, it's a slam tackle after someone's got rid of the footy. And it's going to come back to the Bunbury player in Creasy. He drives in low, wide towards Woods. He can't take it. It's going to beat them all out of bounds on that far side into that. The wind carrying. A
little bit strange going into that pocket, wouldn't it, with that power they got in that midfield.
I'm just looking like Parsons on this top side. Horton was in the middle, and he's gone deep into that pocket. I know he was the only guy on the move, but it was always going to be to the defender's advantage. So Fletcher just pushes Durham out of the way. Picked up there by Anderson. He runs one. He has one bounce. Gribble's not going to catch him. He's going to have another bounce. Down the wing he goes. In front of Jodrell. Can he mark it? Yes, he can. Taking the ground.
Grab.
Good mark. He's going to wheel on his left boot. There's nothing on offer at the moment. Now he's forced to kick down the line. Out the back there's Billy Boucher. Will he run under a loose ball? He's got three Bunbury players around him. Oh, well done there by the player there in Denham King, I think it was. Oh, well done there by one of the HBL players. Couldn't see who it was. Handball inside. Kerwin, it bounces back from it, away from him. Now stacks on. Play on's a call. Socket off the ground by the Bunbury player. HBL have numbers around. Big Fletcher, the biggest man.
There you go.
It sits up nicely. Good handball inside to Saunders. On the point of the centre square. Drives inside the 50. Latrell May, what's he do? In front. Oh, is he taking a mark? The umpire's called high. He's marked the ball 45 metres out in front of the scoreboard, and he'll shoot on goal for HBL and try and draw.
Did he get paid the mark then? Or
he got pulled. He fumbled
down?
the mark, but the defender come over his shoulder.
No, I'm still looking for a Western All-Purpose Services CPR Outdoor Centre mark of the day, so I'm going for anything at the minute.
He done quite well. He was the smallest bloke in the pack, and he levitated early, and he hung long enough to draw contact, and for his sake, it was
Jeffro Barraclough coming to the Harvey Norman interchange bench.
So Latrell May coming in. It's his second game of league football. Under the trusty left boot he goes. 45 metres out. That's a horrible kick, but Jared Humphrey's going to mark this, Craney. No, well done there
King.
by Jamin King, is it? That was a good mark. Show of strength out on the wing. Carries everyone. Tommy Heenan at the back. Squeezes a handball towards Piers Ferguson. He goes back. No, he doesn't. He teases. He squeezes that down the line. It's all Bunbury.
Gee, Tommy Heenan would be dirty about that, wouldn't he?
Certainly would. Durnham, he takes a saving mark. Switches out wide to Niski on the half-back flank. He comes inside now. Creasy's got 20 metres or 15 metres. He's shut down now there by Templeton. Handballs forward. Hamish Hall kicks the ball towards Horton. Is it a good spoil? Well, no, it was a good mark by Jet Woods there. That was a great mark.
I'm putting that one down. I've been looking for one all day. CPR Outdoor Centre, mark of the day.
We won't see too many, but that was purely just strength. He just had front position. Defender in Matty Fenwick was all over him, but he was able to mark it in the second bite.
Well, hopefully we'll get something better, John, but at the moment...
He's going to kick from about 35 metres. He's directly in front.
Had a couple of shots already that have got to the goal square. Now he's got the wind behind him.
This will definitely go over the fence, Croney, or over the perimeter fence anyway, and it does, but it hangs wide and it stays wide to the right-hand side. So
must be a bit of netting up between those goals, I think.
Down that end... you wouldn't want to be kicking for winning the game, as we've seen the AFL the last few weeks. If you're down that end, you'd go down with a bit of cramp and get one of your mates to kick it. So Xavier Williams, while it's retrieved by one of the kids on that far end of PC Payne Park. So 2-3-15 plays 1-5.
Very low-scoring game of footy for sides of this calibre. The ball's whizzing quicker than that. It is
moving, and Anderson now, he's going to bring some pace into the game. He drives to that wing. Underneath it, there's a good mark down there by Oliver, backing back into the pack. On that far half-forward side, he's too far, way too far, 2 kicks from goal. He just puts it up and under. Who wants it? Horton against Anderson. It was all HBL. Well, Xavier Williams drops what he should have taken. Handball inside. Who's going to win the foot race of the ball? Well done there by Niski, is it? He goes one way, the other. Handball's back inside. Creasy can't take it. Now picked up there. No, it was Niski again. Oh, well done there by Creasy, was it? No, it was Hall. He hacks the ball forward, but standing at the top of the goal square is Ned Golter, and he takes a goal-saving mark for HBL.
We need to give the defensive units a bit of credit for all this, though. They're working very hard.
It's not easy. As you said, Durnham, a good mark taken out there, was it?
He's been very impressive.
It was a real good mark in front of Fletcher. He was able to just jump. That's
straight through.
That slipped through everyone's hands. Who's going to win the race of the ball? Well on there by a young HBL player, but he tries to squeeze the kick. He should have went to the boundary side.
He had Piper on. He
young Hewer
come off the side of his thing and haul.
He just tried to steer that through congestion instead of just kicking and having the boundary as safety as well. If Piper couldn't run onto it.
Well, he had Piper on the boundary side and. He just kicked it pretty much straight to Hamish Hall, who has a shot for goal.
He's going to kick from right on the 50-metre arc. He's got the breeze in his back. So what will this ball do, Craney? You wouldn't be putting your life savings on this kick from what we've seen for the last 5 or 6
You'd back Hamish Hall from here.
Well, you've done your dough.
Yeah, that's about like my punting.
Horrible right, and it stayed right. So
that's like my punting for this afternoon anyway, Johnny.
Yeah, so
don't forget to gamble responsibly.
Yeah, very responsibly, all or nothing. 2-4-16 plays 1-5-11 on the Southwest Isuzu scoreboard. As I said, we can't see the time, but
we're looking for Hemp Brothers Rising Star this afternoon. Hemp Brothers, Western Australia's most trusted hemp-based products.
There's a lot of young players out there on both sides, so there's a fair bit of young talent running around.
It's good to see.
Yes, that's what we like to see in local footy. So Johnny Fenwick, he plays on out of fullback. He goes on that far side. Big Fletcher's a target. He's got rid of Durnham. Play on's a call. He's been called for a hold anyway. Was it down the ground, was it?
Yeah, not sure. We'll go with hold.
So Fletcher, he's marked the ball on that far half-back flank. He's just going to go down that wing. Not a bad-looking kick, Fletch, up towards, good mark there by, I can't see who that was. Plays on quickly. Perks brings it into the middle of the ground. Parsons takes a mark. He handballs quickly to Bilshitz. He's got a player wider out here in Munro, right on a true centre winger. He lets it bounce. He's got plenty of time. He's got players inside. He draws a handball over the top to Denham King. He goes back inside to Bilsich. He's just inside the centre square, running towards half forward. Puts that in the hot spot. Heisman's outnumbered. He kept his feet. Goes wide to Woods. He picks up a loose ball. Squeezes towards
Nicely
Gribble.
Played, young
Good
man.
vision. Great kick. And Gribble's going to take. He takes the mark 40 metres out directly.
Now I am going to back this one, John.
Yeah, well,
Jesse Gribble.
If he can't kick it, we're in a lot of trouble.
But
that was good vision. The players often look at a player right in their vision and they turn and want to go themselves. But he honoured and Gribble how he got that far clear, I only know, but he's put that straight over the top of the goal umpire's head, Craney. So Bunbury moved to 3-4-22. They lead HBL 1-5-11 on the Southwest Isuzu scoreboard as we tick over halfway through the second quarter. Very handy goal. They've mucked around with it, but as we seen in the first quarter, that end seems to be impossible to score at.
Fantastic little bit of play by young Woods there.
It was good vision, and as I said, most times guys will spin and I'll take the extra step or keep swinging and have a shot myself.
They see him, like you said, and then decide to have him go. He didn't. He went straight away to Gribble. And look, Jesse Gribble, he's been an absolute star for many, many years. He's the leading played games here for the Bunbury Footy Club. That's a fairly handy effort. Yep. And when he gets a goal with inside that 50-metre arc, you put it down.
So Ruckman go to it, picked up there, handball towards Hall. He goes into half forward again. Horton at the back. Good. Woods comes from 3 deep. Picked up there by Galter. He handballs back to Heenan. He's under all sorts of pressure. Wood over the footy again. He slides in. Play on's a call. Young player there, and Hewer's taken high, is he? No, can't see what the umpire's doing. He's crossed his arms.
HBL got to be a little bit careful here. They've played better than that, but they've still only got the one goal on the board.
Yep. Up it goes, 30 metres out from the Bunbury goal. Players dive in, and it's called high. Whose kick is it? Bunbury's. So, can't see who it is getting off the bottom of the pack. Looks like Bilsich, is it?
Looks like Bilsich from here.
I can't see him. I'm looking in his normal position. I know there he's up here in the middle of the ground, so it's not him. So
we'll just call it
go
through.
With a bit of guessiology. I'm trying to... Oh, yeah, it's young Williamson. Young... Xavier Williamson there's 2 Xavier Williamsons out there today, one for each team. So that was number 10 for Bunbury, Xavier Williamson. He's put through their 4th goal, so they go to 4-4-28. They lead 1-5-11 on the Southwest Isuzu scoreboard.
This is what Bunbury have a tendency to do, and they're sneaking away with a pretty handy lead there. And HBL have had enough of the football to stay in touch, but they're just not getting it on the scoreboard. One goal hasn't been just reward for the effort they've put in for the first half of this game.
And you just see the pressure. That was, probably a reckless tackle or just a loose ball in the back line. You've jumped in and because the pressure starts mounting, repeat entries. Young guys sort of bit inexperienced.
Well, if you keep going in there enough, John, sometimes you're going to get it through.
That's it. So Parsons and Fletcher, no one can take the ball cleanly. Play on's a call in the middle of the ground. Hall's wrapped up, gives it to Gribble. Squeeze a handball, misses Parsons. Saunders runs one way. Well done there by Williams from Bunbury. Gribble picks up a loose ball. Right on the top of the 50-metre D he goes. This is going to carry Craney. It's going to go all the way. And it did. And Jesse Gribble slams through his second in the space of 5 minutes. Bunbury now start to open up 5-4-34. Lead to HBL 1-5-11. And that was an experienced kick, as we'd say. He didn't panic. He got his way through traffic right on top of the 50-metre arc. Straight. He was dead in front, so he didn't need to get any angle on it, and the wind done the rest.
Jesse Gribble's, of course, known as a midfielder for majority of his career, playing as a half forward from a lot of it, but he's back in the midfield now, and I'm putting that down as a Western All Pest Services nomination for goal of the day, because you're right, he was right on 50, he was in heavy traffic, just let it loose, and it sat on the breeze, and I think more players need to realise that breeze has got a fair bit of carry to it.
It certainly has when you get the ball up that high. So, as you said, the scoreboard's starting to tell a bit of a story now. Bunbury going in, and now they're getting reward for effort. So,
if you keep peppering it enough, it's going to open up.
It's almost like the old damn wall, isn't it? Fletcher misses the timing of the ball. Parsons just shins that forward. Who's going to win the race of the ball? Well, Anderson, he comes out. He can't take it. Now in there, low went Hall. Picked up there by Matty Fenwick. He gives it to Galter. He handballs wide to Saunders. What can he do? He's got a Bunbury player coming at him. Tries to do the impossible handball to Finucane. Picked up there by Hamish Hall. Again, he goes one way, the other. Galter off the top. Latrell May goes through. He goes in low. No one can take the footy. Number of players all around it, and we'll have a ball up.
What Saunders did, he relayed the handball then. Once your players can see and you give them that much time to see where you're going, they're going to cut that off.
Yeah, he should have just whacked it on the boot and cleared the area and just a bit of territory. Anyway, right on the point of the half-back or half-forward flank for Bulldogs. Fletcher just puts a fist in it, wrapped up there with Wisniewski. He just gives it to Creasy. Umpire says he handballed it. I think he just handed it over, not handballed. He comes back towards Hall. He just whacks it onto the boot. Horton's gone on the ground. Play on's a call. Heenan comes out. He pats the ball. Horton just throws that towards Gribble. Gribble's taken high. Play on's a call. And Scotty Jones says, give it here. 40 metres out from the Bunbury goal, almost directly in front. Bit of push and shove. Get up, boys. Don't waste your energy.
A couple of really quick handballs there. I've seen them in the AFL too, John, where you wonder where the fist connects.
Yeah, it was almost like just move the footy. We don't care how you do it. But that was definitely a throw from Joel Horton, but he dodged the bullet. Fletcher down to Johnny Fenwick. He's wrapped up by a number of Bunbury players. The ball hasn't moved at all. Umpire Scotty Jones says, boys, get up, give me the footy, and we'll start again.
We are a bit surprising that we're heading towards half-time and Joel Horton hasn't got one on the board.
No, I don't think he's had a touch, to be honest, Croney. He had a nice
couple of little ones
there,
in the first quarter.
Very unusual for him. So up they go again. Horton there, he was in the ruck against Fletcher. Fletcher belts at Saulis. He handballs inside there towards Fraser Ward. He comes out towards the Troll May. He takes a loose ball over the top of his arm. He goes one way or the other on the left boot. Great kick towards Jared Humphreys. And that was a beautiful, as we call a little worm burner.
If you go back down there, Johnny, with Fletcher, he didn't mess around with these little types of thing. He belted that thing and he picked up 10 or 15 that allowed HBL to go through. And that was a beautiful kick from that young man.
Yep, he had a bit of confidence there. He had a bounce. So Humphreys,
needs to
say
put
they
this one
need it
through
would be an understatement. He's going to kick from about 38, 40 metres out on a slide angle. Should be bread and butter for him, but we'll wait till she clears the sticks. But as you said about the ruck work, Craney, sometimes you just got to clear the zone. And
sometimes you're better off because everyone was crowded around that zone. He hit it out there.
In comes Jared Humphreys. Direct shot at goal. That's sprayed to the right, and it stayed right.
Just a quick around the grounds, Johnny, thanks to Geograph Civil. And Matt Jamison will want to take the Busselton boys for a bit of goal kicking because they are now 5 goals, 16-46. They lead Eaton third, 3 goals, 2-20. 5 goals, 16.
That's horrible. So Kerwin goes straight down the middle of the ground. Creasy, he just goes over the top. Good spoil there by Golter. Onto the loose ball comes Pierce Ferguson. He handballs back towards the young fella in the Troll May. Now it goes towards Ferguson, goes back in. He's wrapped up. Play on, the umpire says, give it here. It was good tackle there from the Bunbury player when he gets
we're looking
up.
for a couple of tackles through, I think, the Bunbury mower
Babbage.
service. That was Babbage. Let's put a tick down for him.
Wasn't actually, it was King. Denham King, I think it was. 23. Is it Denham or Jamin? So Gribble gets a free kick for high. On that far wing, what's going to happen here? He's going to drive it towards half forward, up and under. This time Wood's got the run on it. He goes hard. Well done there by Golter. Kept front position. Now HBL Heenan. He's taken high. Play on's a call. He handballs his ball towards Pierce Ferguson. It rolls out of bounds on the far side. 5-4-34 Bulldogs lead HBL 1-6-12. Ticking down later stages of the second quarter.
And we probably forgot to mention the big news. Jonesy changed his boots at quarter time, so he's just back in the sneakers now.
I reckon there'd be a Hawkeye umpire here somewhere for the fines. Fletcher takes it out of the ruck contest. Creasy picks it up. He just whacks it onto the left boot. Goes out towards Heisman. He takes it. He's surrounded by HBL players. It was a bit hot to handle. She goes out of bounds 60 metres out on the far side from the Bunbury goal. So it's a bit of a stalemate at the moment. Bunbury have got a handy 22-point lead, so they'll be quite happy going into half-time if they can at least hold this break. Up it goes. Durnham and Fletcher. Fletcher hits it forward. Anderson, he sits for him. It goes down the line. Loose ball. The umpire said it went out of bounds, or was it a relay free kick?
Something happening on the other side.
Must have went out of bounds, so we'll have a ball in on that far side near that light pole out there, Croney.
Absolutely, and the Harvey Norman interchange bench getting a fair workout by both these coaches.
Yep. Been watching too much AFL. Anyway, in she comes on the point of the centre square. Fletcher just moves Durnham out of the way, but his kick's smothered. Picked on the head by Gribble. He tries to do an inside-out Jackie Chan kick. Up and under from Saunders.
He did that pretty well.
That went the required distance.
He stood nicely though, Oliver.
Oliver stood under the ball. Horton's held wrapped up. Play on's the call. Well done there.
Brilliant spoil.
It was a good spoil. I thought the umpire was going to pay a hold free kick. Now a number of players over it, and the umpire says, give it here.
Let's give the City and Regional Fuel spoil of the day. We'll give him a bit of a...
That was Xavier Williams. The HBL, Xavier Williams.
He's done well down there.
It's been a good contest so far between the two of them. It's Horton and Fletcher over the top. Anderson just goes without it. Xavier Williams onto the boot, up and under. Out they come. Hamish Ward for HBL can't take it. Latrell May swoops on a loose ball. He juggles, but he's got the afterburners on. Good. Oh, his handball just falls loose. Now picked up by Durnham. He handballs out towards Ninsky. He runs to the top of the paint. He just puts that up to the top of the goal square. Heisman's in the box seat. Pushes his young opponent out of the way. Horton runs onto a loose. It was Parsons. He handballs back towards Hamish Hall. Stops and props, and that's going to carry it. No, Heenan right on the goal line. Takes a goal-saving mark. Does Tommy Heenan.
Right on the goal line.
Definitely was. He was right on the paint. So he's had a pretty good quarter himself so far. He just goes short. He's got Finucane, is it? He's 30 metres out. He swings onto the left boot, comes up the middle of the ground. He's got Fraser Ward, just carries a good spoil there from Oliver. Now he wraps up, breaks a tackle, goes towards Berraclough. He throws that towards Gribble.
The
he
numbers
handballs
of
inside.
Bunbury around here.
Creasy on his left, sells one way, goes the other. And that, it went left, it stayed left, and another behind. So
they're covering all the exits, the Bulldogs.
they have
well
there,
done.
yeah.
They just had numbers. Every time HBL went to one player, there was 5 Bulldogs around him.
Young Ward just had to take that clean and whack it on the boot and break that line.
They need to break that line to jump over and get a bit of ball carry.
Bunbury has set up a wall there. And if they can get over the top, they got a couple of young guys here with the leg speed, but they just got to get it over the top.
And Bunbury are scoring their goals a lot easier, aren't they? HBL working very hard. Well, that says that they've only kicked the one for the afternoon.
So 37 plays 12 on the Southwest Isuzu scoreboard. So Xavier Williams for HBL, what's he going to do this time? Goes on that far side again. Out there, the ruckman Fletcher. Who's underneath it? Who's going to take the mark? Johnny Fenwick can't take it, but he's paid the push. Is it? Oh, how do you call that? Well, sometimes you're never amazed by some things that you see and some things that are called. But anyway, the Bunbury player goes up and under, puts it to 30 metres out. Horton stands tall. No one can take it. Xavier Williams for HBL. Finucane slides in low. He's taken high. Play on's a call. Should be dropping the ball if it's not a free kick for a high tackle. So the umpire takes the easier way out and says, I'll ball it up 35 metres out from the Bunbury
Can't
goal.
get in trouble that way,
No, correct. No one can say it was my kick, although they all were.
Oh,
Fletcher just puts the right cross into that one and whacks it about 30 metres. Who's going to win the race to the ball? Good pick up out there. Guess who? Anderson. He's just got a claw onto his jumper. He's forced to kick it. Now a number of players around the footy on that far wing. No one can pick it up.
Well, that's really just saying, Johnny, they're pressured every time they come out. They can't get that avenue for exit out of there by pinpointing. They're under pressure and they're turning it over on the way out. Yeah,
Bunbury have put the clamps on it at the moment, so now a bit of aerial ping pong. Berraclough hacks that out and she goes out of bounds on the full. So what can Piers Ferguson do? They just need something to carry over the top.
People
clear.
in that grandstand over there too, John.
Yes. A few boys set up in the back of their wagons. So kick down the line. But he said, whatever you can do, I'll raise your 10 and I'll put mine out on the full as well. I don't know why guys have to play tight on the boundary on a windy day. Just skill has dropped away, Craney, in the last 5 minutes. So it's aerial ping pong at the moment. Heenan's going to win the race back to the ball. He's 30 metres out from his defensive goal. The player goes over the top of him.
Well, I reckon there's a high tackle.
That's a high tackle. You've seen it. You called it, Craney. And is it Woods? I can see a headband. It's either him or Parsons. They're going to take the free kick about 35 metres out.
They were frustrating Weaver last week with the headbands.
It's Woods, is it? Yeah, looks like him. Turn around, give us a look at his jumper. It might help. No, it's Parsons, is it?
No, Woods.
Woods. So Jet Woods, he's going to take a shot from about 35, 40 metres out on a slide angle. So can he tidy this up? Right on the siren.
Right on the siren.
So 5-6, a handy goal this would be if he's able to convert. Deliberate shot, and he's not even bothered the scorers there.
No, he actually, as soon as it hit his boot, he turned and looked the other way. He thought, no.
So half-time, Bunbury 5-6-36, lead HBL 1-6-12 on the Southwest Isuzu scoreboard. They go in with a handy 24-point lead, and let's hope the second half can sort of tidy up a little bit, but still game on, Croney.
Interesting first half, to say the least, Johnny. We'll be back with a Hollow Beach Bar and Grill half-time chat. Welcome back to PC Payne Park. It is half-time. Bunbury 5 goals 6-36. They lead HBL 1 goal 6-12. This is the Hollow Beach Bar and Grill half-time chat. Johnny, look, there's players. It is a bit trickier out there than what we're given credit for. That win is definitely making the ball carry uncharacteristic turnovers by the sides. Yeah,
it's not easy. As I said, just you put your head out of the box and you can feel it. So imagine what it's like out there on the open paddock. It hasn't. The quarter wasn't a clean quarter. It was probably, we didn't sound all over enthused, but it was just it got harder to watch as the quarter went on. But the players out there on both sides were giving it their all. It was very hard, as you said, to chain passages to play together and get some run and carry and get the good passes and the good leads and lace out sort of stuff that we like seeing on on a finer day where there's no rain. But the conditions are tricky. it's more probably playing smarter and really reading the flight of the ball over the back more, as we say, the old cheat out the back. But
well, I'd be cheating out the back quite a bit today, especially heading towards that City end.
Yeah.
The goal scorers so far, Braden Parsons, 2 goals in that first quarter. Jesse Gribble, 2 goals in the second one for Bunbury. And that's it.
Yeah.
No, there's one other, John. There's one to Xavier Williamson. And for HBL, well, Blake Soulis has the only goal of the afternoon. When you're looking at that, though, HBL have had enough of the footy. They are behind, but they're only the 4 goals behind, and they have enough of the footy. If they turn that around and starting to link up and trying to break through this Bunbury defence and get it in there quickly, they're a chance to get back into this game.
When they come through the middle of the ground a couple of times, I mean, they got that one goal, and they probably were unlucky not to get. Well, Jared missed a shot, which he should have got. There was a couple of times they went forward, and they were too quick and they were quite slick. But they through half back when they're under pressure, I think in the back of their mind they know they're only a kick from goal, defensive goal, and any mistake's going to cost them. So they tend to try to overuse the footy and try and be too cute. And they got turned over or free kicks and resulted. Lucky Bunbury did miss a couple of sodas, but at the end of the day, just get it out into open space. That's what your strength's been, is getting that loose ball and getting some of your younger guys who can run. Just get it into space, and even if they turn you over 50 metres down the park, they got to then try and hit up a target. And as we said, it's not easy to hit targets going forward with this wind. So clear the ball from your half back, get it wide. And I said, if they're good enough to cut you off and repel it back, well, then it's a 50-50 ball again, and it's not necessarily going to be another shot on goal. So just if they can tidy that up and open the game up on their terms, they can get back into it. But otherwise, we'll probably just end up with an arm wrestle for the second half, and you'll see Bunbury will probably put another 2 or 3 ahead and end up with an 8 or 9 goal win. But it's definitely game on. There's no two worries about that. So we'll just see if HBL can come out of the blocks and hit the scoreboard this time with goals instead of points.
Thanks to the Hollow Beach Bar and Grill, the Bunbury's iconic sunset venue. It's a great spot to sit and have a bit of food and a bit of refreshment, and I'm sure they're enjoying it on the big screen. We'll be back after the break for the second half of the clash between Bunbury and HBL. And welcome back to PC Payne Park. It is half-time in the clash between the Bunbury Football Club and HBL. And the score is Bunbury 5 goals, 6-36. They lead HBL 1 goal, 6-12. Thanks to the Hollow Beach Bar and Grill for your support this afternoon. I'm sure you're all enjoying the beautiful views at that fantastic venue. Umpires are back on the ground. We haven't seen much of the players yet, John. They must be still working out where to come. But I think Derek Hall, he's a very experienced coach, Derek Hall, might be asking his players just to come to terms with those conditions. I know they're tricky, but they're league footballers. The umpires are coming in to find where the players are going. Maybe they've called it, Johnny.
Yeah, they don't want to stand out there and win on their own. HBL are coming out now, and I'd say Bunbury looks like a bit of movement down there. So we'll be underway shortly. But I think hopefully we have a good second half. The scoreboard says 4 goals at the moment, but this could develop. If HBL just tidy up a little bit on their and get their outside run going and get that ball moving a bit quicker, this could end up being a good game. It's either going to go 2 ways. It's going to go down to the wire, or it's going to be a blowout. I
think it depends on this quarter. Bunbury get away to a couple here. That's going to put it significantly out. If HBL get the first one, they get a bit of confidence. That's where they need is a bit of a confidence with their goal kicking. We're looking for a couple of interesting tackle of the game since the Bunbury Mower service. There's been a good couple of tackles. It hasn't been real intense tackling, has it?
But it hasn't been that physical type of game. It's been
it's different.
I say it got scrappy towards the end of that quarter, but the ball has moved, but the wind has made it hard. And I suppose the ball keeps moving, and you can't stick your tackles because it's going to be penalised or whatever. So I think for HBL, Anderson needs to get his hands on the ball and break away from some stoppages to ignite some of his teammates around him.
Well, we've seen they're capable of doing that because Fletcher, in the opening minutes of the game, Fletcher went to Anderson and they were in the forward line with the blink of an eye. So they need to hook up around. They haven't got the real experience in that midfield as they normally have this year, losing Caboni and the likes, but they're not doing too bad around the stoppages.
No,
HBL,
I'd probably be tempted to push Ty Armitage up into the middle of the ground just to a bit of grunt work
and experience.
And experience. He's good in and under. He he can sort of work his body to give Anderson a bit of space that he needs. So they just need to create something to get them to the outside quicker, and then from there they can go and hopefully get back into the game. But Bunbury, at the moment they've got all the trumps, so they'll be looking to keep the ball in on their terms. So
there's a few players putting their hand up for the WA Carpet Supermarket Best on Ground as well. I'm still looking for the CPR Outdoor Centre marker today. I've got a couple, but I'm not convinced.
No.
Umpire holds the ball aloft. We're ready to start the second half of the game. This is SEN Spirit, and John Bajetta will take it away.
Fletcher and Dernan. Fletcher this time out the back. There he goes. Is young Templeton. Sorry, he squeezed that on his right boot. Foot race on. Armitage is going to win the race of the ball. He goes in low. Picks up the footy. Can't get rid of it. Now stacks on. Loose ball comes in. Well done there by young Templeton again. I think it was. He's taken the ground. The umpire said, "Give it here." On that far side.
That was good by Armitage though. Eyes on the footy and made sure he picked the ball up.
That's
first.
the thing with him. He's very one way. He's hard at it. He doesn't mind putting his head over the ball. Fletcher down towards Piper. He handballs wide to Johnny Fenwick. That's going to go out of bounds on the floor.
I reckon Johnny's going to say, I passed that
Anderson. He's, I was looking to go over the fence, but Ty Anderson, he's now trying to break a line. He gets on his bike. Kicks that into about 40 metres out from goal. Up there went Billy Boucher. He couldn't take it. Blake Soulis off the pack. He goes to Finucane. Is it Jared Humphreys on the left boot? What's he done? She's gone out of bounds on the full.
Gee, they needed that one to pop through for the game, didn't they?
They had the numbers there too. I'm not sure if there could have been another handball inside, but...
Yeah, Johnny Fenwick's just looked up here and said, how dare you, John Bajetta? I passed that beautiful into Ty Anderson.
Yeah. He'll remind me later, no doubt, when he watches a replay. So Ninsky takes a relieving kick. He's got Kerwin coming back to the top of the goal square, but he's going to stay on that far side. Up comes Hamish Hall, still 40 metres out from his defensive goal. Wheels and goes. Flat-looking kick. Who's in the best position? Good defensive mark taken there. Not sure who that was. I thought it was Johnny Fenwick, but it wasn't. Renton slides in now. He's in all sorts of trouble if they put their hands up. He dodged the bullet there. He slid in on the ball.
It's a game of inches, wasn't there? Because young Jordell, he just got his fingertips to it for HBL and it just slipped through.
So they need to score here. They're 35 metres out directly in front of HBL.
Well, you're right. They need to lock it in. Make sure Bunbury don't bring it back on the flip side.
Dernan wins the knock. Blake Soulis over the back, or Kerwin in the hole. He takes it, squeezes it out towards the player there in Oliver. What's he going to do? He's deep in the back pocket. He's called to play on now. He squeezes the ball down the line towards his player in Trey Field. He's still in defensive 45. He's going to come out towards his coach's box. On his wing, Heenan and Parsons. Parsons just uses his body better. Gets around Heenan and takes an uncontested mark.
Yeah, read the ball miles
very
better
well.
there, didn't he?
Yep, he handballs back to Kerwin. Horrible handball low. He's now squeezed down towards Perks. He's marked right on the tram lines of the interchange box. Right in front of us. What's he going to do? He's trying to look further afield. There's not a lot of hell of a lot on offer, so he plays on, comes back inside, runs his quota, squeeze that towards the forward pocket. At the back there, a good
that's
mark
a great
there
grab
by young Ned Golter. Very good player, this young kid, Craney. He squares across the scoreboard pocket to his captain in Johnny Fenwick. What's he going to do? He's forced to hold up here. They really wanted to keep that moving. Then when they got
I'm a
the
bit
switch,
short of these marks. I'm putting that one down, Seeper out to big outdoor centre. It was a good grab.
So Piper right in front of the scoreboard on the 50 metre, where the 50 metre crosses the boundary line. Sort of playing himself into a bit of a pocket here. Why not moving the ball quick? Good kick down the line, but underneath it, Kerwin, it carries his head. Out the back here, Fletcher. It needed to be a rover, not a ruckman. Johnny Fenwick just can't take the loose ball. In there was Bilsich. Now she comes out. Fenwick goes low, picks it up. Handballs inside to Jordell. Can it sit for him? No, it can't. The Bunbury players, they got an extra number out there, but it comes back in. Who got the free kick here? It looks like Bunbury. I'm not sure who it was. It's Bilsich, is it? It is. He's called to play on now. He comes into the centre of the ground. They're way outnumbered if this doesn't work. Armitage, well done by Oliver. Armitage just gets a loose ball forward. Pierce Ferguson picks up. Now there's a hold. Play on. The umpire, Saunders, runs to 40, 55 metres. Got Humphreys all on his own. He's taken a mark about 45 metres out on a slide angle.
This just has to go through HBL because they've worked very hard and they need reward. And when it does, that'll lift the confidence of their playing group.
I was about to say the same thing. This will be a lifting goal if he can kick it, because they've worked hard. I see Armitage limit off, but he can put his hand up and say that was his really good effort in the middle of the ground then. That's ended up with Jared Humphreys having a shot on goal. So he'll kick from 40 metres out on a slide angle. We're right behind it. He just sets it up, Craney, and that's how you kick the footy. That is a beautiful kick on the goal by Jared Humphreys. That's a much-needed major to HBL. They move to 2-6-18. They trail Bunbury 5-6-36 on the Southwest Isuzu scoreboard, and now they're chipping their way back into the game. They've had most of the possession this quarter, so for the game game's sake, let's hope they can keep going. We might get a bit of a shower.
Well, they need a bit of reward for effort. They're working hard. Ty Hermited's come off on the Harvey Norman interchange bench with a bit of a hip problem. I hope that's not too much because they need him out there. They're a bit short of experience, and he's a real good grunt player, one pickup sort of player. But HBL, look, we said before, they're only a couple of goals out of this game. They need the next one to pick it up. That's a great kick by Jared Humphreys. Absolutely set it up on the breeze. People have been having trouble kicking it down that end. He had no trouble whatsoever.
So Bunbury, they tried to come back in the corridor, but it was 3-on-1, and they paid the price. Here we go back in the middle. Fletcher and Durham. Durham this time over the top towards King. He's taken without the footy. Play on's the call. Well done there by young Templeton, I think it is. Just drives that forward. Numbers come out. Well done by Jordell. Picked up there by Billy Boucher. He handballs over the top. Oliver's caught. Now Jared Humphreys works onto the ball. He just can't take the line of the footy with him. He's held off the contest. Well done there by Denham King. Picked up by his brother. He just slaps it on the boot. It's rolling out towards Perks. Good pace there from young young Ned Golter. He's got me tongue twisted a couple of times. He's a real dasher, this kid. I like the way he comes off half back. So what's the umpire? Oh, I thought he was pointing for a deliberate out of bounds then. I was going to say
no, that would have been a harsh call.
Definitely would have been. So boundaries
it is coming in a bit dull over us.
It is. I think we're going to get a bit of a light shower. Fletcher just moves everyone out of the line, whacks it onto the left boot. Who's going to win the race to the footy? Jordell comes up. He just can't quite take it. At the back's Kerwin. Jordell gets it onto his left boot. In he goes towards Hamish Ward. Over the back it goes. Where's it going to roll, Craney? It's going to roll. Oh, well done there by Renton. He gets back right on the goal line.
Everyone was watching that ball just bounce.
It just wouldn't go in for end. It went belly up, and it wouldn't go in for end to roll that little bit quicker. So Bunbury play on. They come out through Perks. He's got Kerwin. He's been sitting on his fast pocket all day.
Kerwin's been pretty solid all day.
He has. He's had a fair bit of the ball. Oh, we just sold him out there, Crane. He sold him out too nicely.
So he kicks it straight to the man on the mark.
Yep. Pierce Ferguson takes off. He drills that in over the top. Hamish Ward, he again worked under. Blake Saulis, going to sit up for him? No, it can't. It just rolls through onto the left-hand side of the goalpost from behind.
I just wanted all the HBL supporters.
Yeah, they're all willing that through.
They're all leaning.
It's like the Jamaican bobsled swing going around the corner. But 5-6 lead, 36 leads 2-7-19. They need another one or two to really get himself back into this game. So Kerwin again, he's going to go far side this time. Squeeze that kick. Zach Piper's in the box position. No one can take the mark. Jet Wood comes over the top. Loose ball picked up there by young Cruxton. Now it's taken out of bounds right where the 50 meets the boundary. The boundary umpire says, I'll throw it in. So HBL will be looking to press again. Bunbury will try and clear the fence.
This game is starting to heat up thanks to Hearth House. Get that Hearth House feeling.
Well, if the scores were level, you'd be saying, what a cracker. It is a good game, and HBL just need, as I said, they need value for effort because they've dominated the first 6 or 7 minutes here. Bunbury now, just squeeze that ball forward. Who's going to win the race of the ball? Heisman, he can't. Blake Saulis goes in low. Handballs back towards his captain, is it? No, it's not. I think it's number 2, young Hewer. With them, no, it's young Ned Golter, I think.
He's got you again, mate.
He has. It is Hewer, actually. Golter's over here. So he drives forward. All Bunbury there, but no one's taking it. Jordell goes one way or the other. You're going to get done for dropping the ball, son? Yep, that's fair enough. So you can't...
I think the first 3 turns would have been all right, John.
Being a left footer, he just didn't want to whack it onto his right, which he should have. Down the boundary they go on that far wing. Heisman takes an uncontested mark. Just sits it up. Goes over the top towards Denham King. Still in that same wing position. He's got a player in the middle of the ground in Berraclough. He's surrounded by HBL. Be good enough to take the mark. Smack bang in the middle of the ground. Just chips over the top to Dylan Heisman. He's still inside the centre square. Turns and goes. A horrible looking kick. That's probably one part of his game that he needs to get better. Ward picks up a loose ball, goes towards Billy Boucher. He handballs to the standing still ruckman in Fletcher. He just says, I'm going to whack it as far as I can. Kicks it long and high to half forward.
You'd want to get at the back of this.
He can't take it. Now he picks, he's fumbled a loose ball. He needs to be tackled and be dropping the ball, but the HBL player didn't go the tackle. Now Bilsich sweeps a wide handball out there to Jamin King. He handballs over top to Creasy at half back. He goes one way. He's a left footer, boys. Goes inside on his left foot to Berraclough. Marks it at centre half back. He's got loose Kerwin on this side. Bunbury, you got an extra. What's he going to do? He's going to run through the middle of the ground. He's going to go straight. He had the loose out here. Now he's got Perks. What's he going to do? He marks over the top. He's got Heisman. He plays on. He's too slow. Pushed off his kick. The umpire has pushed the. Has called a push. Probably a bit unlucky. You see that a million times in the game.
He probably could have grabbed him.
Yeah, if he probably used two. If he used one hand instead of two, he would have got away with it. So Kerwin just chips over the top to...
Did all the hard work.
Heisman. He just wheels and goes. Out the back there is, well done by Ned Golder. He puts a big fist into it. Johnny Fenwick, he's got a loose there in Fraser Ward. He elects not to go to him. Comes to young Hewer, who marks.
He's been good today, Johnny Fenwick.
Yeah, he's very well skilled by foot, and he very rarely does miss a target. So young Hewer, what's he going to do? He's unsure. He's going to bomb this ball down to where Bunbury have all the numbers.
That's probably not the best option.
It wasn't the best kick. He had to wait till his players come close enough. He just wheels into centre forward. HBL have got the spare at the back here if Horton doesn't mark it. Fenwick brings it to ground. Golter, well done, spins one way or the other. Now he's got the runner outside in Xavier Williams. He needs to sit. Over the top he goes towards Boucher. You've got to take it, son. He does. Just squeezes out towards Blake Sula. So he should have the leg speed on Creasy here. Goes one way, goes the other. Keeps his feet. Well done. Gives a 30-metre handball down to Boucher. He fumbles what he should have taken. Put himself under all sorts. That's the push in the back if the other one was. Picked up out there by King. He drives forward towards Jesse Gribble. Standing on the wing all on his own. He handballs out wide to Kupaninski. He drills into the scoreboard side, scoreboard flank. Horton drops what he should have taken. Now plays for a free kick. He sucked the umpire in beautifully. Joel Horton will take a kick 60 metres out from goal.
It's just that, isn't it? That clean ball handling from Billy Boucher out there.
He takes that,
they're off. And Joel Horton, this will test him.
Too far out the score. So Woods is trying to lead up into the hole, and Fletcher cuts it off. And Fletcher, what a good ruckman does, shoots in the hole. He's forced to go back and do the roving himself. Bunbury have 3-on-1 here. Woods handballs out wide. Kerwin, he's knocked out by Woods. He's knocked out by his own teammate there. And probably lucky in the end not to get penalised for holding the ball. He's in.
He just turned straight into Woods, didn't he?
Shouldn't laugh about that, but it was funny if you're sitting here watching it.
Yeah, it's a lot better up here.
Yeah, it was easy, yeah. So Fletcher just gives it the big round arm. Perks goes in. He's missed what he should have taken. Latrell May goes over top. Boucher jumps in.
For two sides that are on top of the ladder, I've never seen so many balls run under players. And it's just, as you said, the pressure and the conditions.
Yeah, the pressure's definitely gone up. It's been quite an intent quarter so far. So Parsons, young Templeton, he's over the top. Now Fenwick comes out. He runs on a loose ball. He's got Finucane. He's going to use him, but he's a left footer. He's got to cut back inside. What's he going to do? On the left boot, he goes down. Hamish Ward comes out, but the ball's short, and Kerwin, who's had a good afternoon so far, cuts it off. He's going to go back into the centre of the ground. He's got Niski wide, but that ball ain't going to make it. This is going to be a foot race. Young Latrell May, can he win the race to the footy? Take it over the boundary line, son. He can't. Bunbury have the extra number now. They make a bit of a mess of it. They still got the extra, so they're going to get away here.
You're right, John, that need to go over the boundary.
That certainly did.
HBL.
That's experience. That's just not knowing the moment, Craney, as they say. Berraclough takes a mark on the far wing. He tries to come back inside. Not a real lot on offer. He's got Heisman out there. He's given too much latitude. He's going to turn his opponent inside out. Paddles in front of the scoreboard. He's now Sockers. Doesn't go very far. He's going to get wrapped up. Well done there by young Hewer. That was very well done from a young player. He put enough pressure on Heisman, who snapped at goal. It's gone through for a behind. And without that young fella sticking that tackle, that would have been all sorts of problems for HBL. So Bunbury 5-7-37. Lead HBL 2-8-20, so a handy 17-point lead.
It's an intriguing game, though, all the same, isn't it?
It's definitely gone up a notch, and both sides know that this game means a fair bit to them. So a relieving kick out wide from Piper towards Latrell May. He's got Gribble on his hammer. Again, he's under pressure. Use the boundary line, son. Berraclough does. He just rolls that out of bounds when he knew Gribble went
Well,
around.
that's the difference, isn't it?
Yeah, he was 2-on-1, so he said, my mate's out of the play. I've just got to stop. The
Read the situation a little bit better.
Yep.
But fair, and been around for a lot longer too.
Yep. And that's where the talk, the senior heads have got to be yelling and screaming at these young guys to help them find their way through traffic. So on the far side, 37 plays 20 on the southwest Isuzu scoreboard. Fletcher works his way to the front, just grabs it. His kick didn't go far. Hall, Sol's a dummy, out towards Gribble, rolling toward the boundary. Is he going to pick it up? He just tries to fox his way through, runs it over the line, and the umpire said, give it here. Right on that far side, forward of the middle for the Bunbury Bulldogs.
Bunbury be on a bit of a wake-up to Fletcher. He's grabbed that out of the ruck a couple of times and got away with it.
So up they go again. He pushes Parsons out of the way. Croney, you called it. You knew exactly what was going to happen. He just drives that. Good kick to half forward. If this goes over the back, HBL could be in a good position here. Oh, well picked up there by young Bilsich. He whacks that onto the boot. Goes wide, high. Parsons can't take them up. Berraclough, well roved. He goes one way or the other. Squeeze the handball out. Will it make it to Gribble? No, it won't. And well done there by Finucane, who just goes in low and takes that ball out of bounds. And we'll have another boundary throw in almost in exactly the same spot.
Thanks to Grudge Door Southwest too. They are B&D roller store specialists.
Just need either side just needs a release player here from this stoppage. It's been backwards and forwards in that.
It's like an arm wrestle, isn't it? You're just waiting for something to open up.
Yep. So Fletcher again, this time Parsons drops it. He runs onto his loose ball himself, gets a handball there towards Hall. He just drives that towards the Horton direction. He tries and he does that very well. He just put his big backside back into Xavier Williams, made the space in front and had the drop zone all to himself. He's taken a mark 40 metres out, directly in front. And
terrifically called, John. He put the derriere out there and he put his arms out front and there was no way Williams was getting around that.
Nothing you can do about that. So one of his rare...
Just to quickly around the grounds for Geograph Civil, I'll tell you, after Horton has this shot for goal as he moves in very deliberately and has missed to the near side. A quick one from Bustleton, 8 goals 21, lead Eaton 3 goals 2. 8 goals 21 when in the percentage is going to be very important for their prospects of making the 5.
Certainly is. 5-8-38 plays a 2-8-30, 20, so an 18-point ball game. Oh, well done there. Anderson steals what the Bunbury player had all on his own. Oh, well done there by Bill Sitch.
That was well done, young
he
fella.
needed to take that. Anderson runs onto a loose ball. Now he's off. Don't push him forward. That's the last thing you want to do. He has Jared Humphrey charging out.
You don't want to give him any momentum,
no, he was like, hey, you need a push start. He's one player that doesn't need any help running forward. Humphreys marks the ball dead on the paint at 50.
He's exciting to watch because he's just off.
He's off. He wheels are spinning before he actually wants to go, and once he's gone, you're not going to catch him. So
this will be right on Jared's
right on his kicking
distance.
range. That breeze has still got a little bit in it for him, so he's just got to hold his line here. It's again, as we said, a much needed goal. This will bring it back within a couple of kicks. So every HBL supporter's got their holding their breath. So he puts that up. It's going to get the journey, Craney. And I tell you what, he's got the lot.
That is an absolute
a very, very good goal by Jared Humphreys. HBL will go to 2-8-26. They trail Bunbury 5-8-38, so a 12-point ball game. They're just nibbling their way. If they've defended quite well, they just got to sort of hold their nerve here, not make any silly mistakes or rash decisions that give Bunbury the opportunity to have a good look at the scoreboard.
I know. I tell you what, John, I've just put that CPR Outdoor Centre. No, the Western Auto Services goal of the day, because that was pretty handy. That spun absolutely magnificent. He kicked that from about 55. The man was standing on the mark, was on the 50-metre line, and it went through half goalpost high. Magnificent goal.
We said at half-time someone for HBL, Anderson, he's lost his partner in crime in Caboni today, so he's got to do a lot on his own, but that was exactly what they ordered, and let's hope he can do a little bit more for him. So play on now. Out of the middle of the ground comes Hamish Hall. He wheels out to the scoreboard flank. Who's in the best position? Jesse Gribble. Just, again, protects the drop ball.
That well.
Done that very well. He's held himself in trouble, as you know he hasn't. He squeezed that kick out wide to Jamin King, is it? He's right on 50. He just chips inside, but too short. Horton come out, but that man in Anderson, he's off. He handballs wide towards Piers Ferguson. Can he keep it in play? If he does, he does, but Bunbury had the extras. Now they got all numbers. Horton picks it up. He comes inside, but a little short kick towards Heisman. Goes towards Golter. He cuts it off. Gribble goes in low. There's a whistle here, and it's a is it? It's
HBL
kick. Yep. Yeah, lucky then, because Gribble was going to run to the races.
he was off to those goals, wasn't he, Jesse
Podium
Gribble?
finish for him, I'd say. He's got a square one here if he wants to use it, but he doesn't. He goes down the line. Well, that's a shallow kick, and the smallest guy on the ground, but the biggest guy in Fletcher said, give it here. He handballs wide. Who's going to run onto this? Anderson, will it sit for him? No, it won't. Well done there by young Munro, but he's taken in a good tackle, and that was a real good tackle. Play on's a call. Oh, that took a while.
We're going to put that down. Who tackled
was a good
that one,
tackle.
John? Because I reckon Bunbury Mower Services
Piers Ferguson. That was a grower. The kick was horrible, as they say. The handball goes over top. Gribble in the middle of the ground. He drives forward. That's all too easy. That just undone all the hard work, and Jet Wood will have a shot from 40 metres out. You do a good tackle, Craney, and you're just lazy on the kick, and it just breaks your teammates' hearts. So they were going forward. Now Jet Wood will go back, and you would say, well, he had a couple of shots from here that didn't make the distance.
He's a little bit closer this time, I
yeah,
reckon.
He's probably a step or two, and maybe that's all he'll need, but that sock's just come up again, so time he's run when it drops off, and he might get the journey. Good kick. That is a great kick. That is a very good kick, Jet Wood. So that goes straight through the middle. And Bunbury go to 6-8-44. They lead HBL 3-8-26. Bad mistake on the far side through a bad kick. And Bunbury's run onto a loose ball through Gribble. He used his poise, lowered his eyes, seen Woods come out and just hit him lace out. He's gone back and done the rest. So Bunbury answer the good goal from Humphreys with a goal of their own through Wood and extend the margin back out 18 points on the Southwest Isuzu scoreboard. 44 plays 26.
He's only a young man, this Jet Woods, but I watch every game he starts to mature that little bit more, doesn't he? He's been very good this afternoon, right from the start to finish. He adds the target, he's tall, he thinks well. Add that to Blair Parsons, and they've got a very dynamic duo. And of course, the young fellow in Joel Horton to that. Pretty handy forward line.
Yep, good targets. So Fletcher, again, Croney's taken it out of the air. He's just whacked that on the boot. Players running left, right and centre. Bilsich can't quite take it. Now picked up there by Oliver. He goes one way or the other. Handballs inside to Durnham. He handballs at the boot laces of Creasy, but he's good enough to pick it up. Chips it out wide towards Denham King. He comes out, marks on the centre wing.
Danger time inside for HBL.
Yeah, they just can't let him go coast to coast here. Out wide, it's going to go to Gribble. All on his own. Well done there by Golter. Put a shepherd on, son. You've got
to hold your feet.
He's doing a bit of ice skating. Latrell May picks up handballs out wide. Loose handball. Had to be better than that. Well done there by the Bunbury player. Now HBL through numbers. Golter this time. Squeeze that ball to Latrell May. This time what will he do? He's got to take it clean. He sockets it off the ground, but straight into the chest of Trey Field, and it's going to roll out of bounds on that far side. So they had the numbers there, HBL. They made a bit of a mess of it by
the
fumbling.
beauty of our great game, though, you miss that by a foot, and all of a sudden it changes the game very dramatically.
Well, they had the numbers to be out, and as I said, clean taken, away they go.
And what happens here is everyone's running forward because you think it's going to happen, and the turnover catches you out a little bit.
So Fletcher, what will he do this time? He just drops it down. Oh, Anderson couldn't run on it. Fletcher's still in it. He's held without the footy, and the umpire said, yep, your free kick, Big Fletch. So
yeah, it was pretty good to bring the big fella down.
Yeah.
He's a big man.
Bit of a wrestle on the mark. So Fletcher chips over the top to Saunders still on that far wing. They haven't gained a lot of ground. They don't have a lot down the line. Over the back's May if his kick can get 60 metres, but I don't think it will. He needs to hit up one of these short targets, and he does. Well done there by the player in Fraser Ward. He's marked still on that far wing, but they got possession of the footy. They don't want to give it up. Oh, spoke too early. Saunders, horrible handball. Ward, just get it, son, and whack it on the boot.
Yeah, that probably wasn't clean by any means.
Again,
what's the old rule, John? You don't handle a bloke standing still.
No.
As
but
the only way to relieve each other
pressure,
a bit on the other side there.
The only way to relieve pressure is belt the ball 50 metres down the line and let someone else worry about it. But they haven't done that. Now they're going to.
It's all right going for a handball if he's on the move, but when they're just standing looking at you.
Fletcher again, he just handballs, hits that back towards Finucane. Again, a handball towards Saunders. He's taken the ground, and the umpire said, give it here. That was well done before it got out of hand. So on the point of the centre square, attacking side for HBL, but they just keep coughing up a bit of easy ball. They've had every chance to clear this. Saunders, the smallest guy. What's the umpire played there? Shepherd, has he?
Just that little bit of polish at the moment.
Shepherd in the ruck contest, so Durnham's going to take the free kick. Not a lot to kick, though. They're all pretty much manned up down the field. So
Matt Jamison must be pulling his hair out at Glen Ewan Oval. It is now 9 goals 23, Bustleton to Eaton 3 goals 2.
So Field, he goes towards Horton. You're run down, son, and that's a drop in the ball. That's a great tackle there.
Well, that might put that one down for the Bunbury Mower Services tackle of the day. Oh, he's off too. No, he doesn't.
Young Blake Saulis, that was a good tackle, but the handball sold Horton into all sorts of trouble. He called for the ball. He had no awareness what was around him. So
that's not the best
again,
kick,
not a good kick. So they're just turning the ball back over and giving it back to Bunbury far too easy. That's a good tackle again, but he slips. He gets a handball out there to Field. He goes over top to Gribble. He tries to fend off. He handballs towards Denham King. He goes to Horton. He's throwing the ball around Oliver. He goes inside to Gribble, right on 50. Squeeze it. Woods, he's got the ground. He almost goes to ground. Keeps his feet. This time he goes to ground. Heenan keeps his feet. There's a bit of push and shove. Good handball back to Matty Fenwick. Get it on the boot, son, and clear the zone. He kicks over the top towards Ward. He just waited for the footy. Berraclough comes through, and that's exactly what that deserved. HBL have been stuffing around with the footy for the last 5 minutes, and they're fine. No good throwing your hands in the air, son, and saying, I didn't know. When the ball's there to be got, you go and get it if you're playing league footy.
And so, Berraclough, he just showed what it's all about then. He just went and got it. And then once he cleared that bit of area, he's good enough to run into pretty much an open goal there, John. Yeah. And you're right. It's just those little things that HBL are doing. They're working extremely hard, and then they'll just mess it up by a handball that doesn't meet or a tackle that doesn't quite stick, or sit and watch the footy. And if you're waiting for it, it ain't going to come to you. They've
just made some real bad errors in the last 6 or 7 minutes where no one wanted to own the footy. and now they've paid the price. They got themselves back into the game, but I'd pretty much say now Bunbury are cock a hoop. They've managed to move to 7-8-50. They lead 3-8-26 on the southwest.
That's a brilliant
That's
tap.
a brilliant knock by Fletcher. He goes out and he has one bounce. He could probably have another. Runs to 50. Lazy ears back, and she's just stayed right. That deserved a goal.
Right on the siren. That would have been very handy.
Yep, 3-9-27, trail 7-8-50 right on three-quarter time, and I think they'll be ruining that 6 or 7 minute patch in that quarter with HBL, but to Bunbury's credit, they kept their composure and they put the score on the board when it mattered.
Yeah, look, they just made the most of HBL's mistakes, didn't they? But it's still there if HBL are good enough. It's a long way back, though. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back for the final quarter of the clash between Bunbury and HBL. Welcome back to SEN Spirit's coverage of the Southwest Football League. Payne Park, three-quarter time. Bunbury 7 goals, 8-50. Lead HBL 3 goals, 9-27. In what has been a pretty entertaining game of football, all being a lot lower scoring than what we would have predicted between these two sides at the start of the game. Conditions have been a bit windy. There's been no rain to speak of. In fact, the sun is actually shining at Payne Park. So a bit of work for HBL to do. They just need to get rid of those little mistakes they're doing, because Bunbury are absolutely swamping on there and running up the other end. So big last quarter, Johnny.
Yeah, it wasn't a bad quarter to watch that. It was frustrating towards the end. I suppose, we would have loved to have seen it all tied up at three-quarter time from our perspective, and the crowd who were neutral. But as you said, HBL had just about probably 75% of play in that quarter, as silly as it sounds, and Bunbury sweated on a couple of, at the back end of the quarter, a couple of real bad or lazy mistakes, and they hit the scoreboard instead of HBL. So all of a sudden we're back to a 4-goal game, but in watching it, you would think it was a lot closer.
And here we go for the start of the final quarter. This is SEN Spirit, and John Bajetta will take it away.
Goes up. Fletcher goes back in. He gives the ball to Saunders. He gets a kick away. Out comes Billy Boucher. He can't take it. Goes one hand. Kerwin. Oh, Boucher, well done. Over the top. Get it forward.
It's been a bit quieter today, Billy Boucher.
Yeah, he's a couple of times he slipped over when he's come up at the footy, which normally he's fairly clean. So Bunbury run through. They've got players out wide. Creasy, he tries to fend off, and he does. Just way too easy. He goes towards, drives out on the left boot towards half forward. HBL have the numbers. Horton, he's been well wrapped up there by Xavier Williams.
That's been a good duel.
It certainly has. Tommy Heenan picks up a loose ball. He's got Piper with all 20, 30 metres clear. It's the next kick, Craney, that's got to count. He has one bounce. He can have another bounce if he wants. He might as well keep going now. He's drawn Saunders, but the handball, lucky he drew the free kick.
Yeah, but I was just watching the HBL
players.
They needed to push towards the other side, not jog, so the ball carrier had somewhere to go to.
And that's the trouble. You only get a couple of guys running. You've got to really work hard. Piper's done well. He's pushed on down and he's marked that on the centre wing. He just goes over top of one step towards, I think it's, have a bit of guessiology. He's young Templeton, I think it is. He just up and under towards half forward. No one's in there. Jodrell front position. He can't take them up. Bunbury has extra numbers here. King, he goes over the top. A big bomb, as they say, from Trey Field. Heenan slipped over at the back. He was in the box seat. Now Denham King's going to run on a loose ball at half forward. He handballs back towards Parsons. It goes below his knee. Well done there by the HBL player and Heenan. That's a free kick. Over the top went the Bunbury player, and Tom Heenan at centre half back, he's a recipient. He goes wide towards Piper on the far side. They're getting possession, but they're not gaining ground. They've got Golter just over the top if he wants to use him. The trouble is his players, teammates led into the same area. Ooh, lucky there. Yeah. Young Templeton, he's got a loose over the top in Saunders. He used him. Again, Craney, it's the next kick. There's no movement up, and no one's creating
movement,
space.
So you create options for the
it's not happening. So the kick has to go up and under and hope for a good mark. As he does off one step, Fletcher's down there. So they got the right guy down there.
Oh,
and guess what? He does
grab.
mark it. Now he handballs to Anderson. He has a bounce in front of the scoreboard. He can have another bounce. He can have another bounce if he wants. He will. He goes inside. He goes check side. A bit low. He didn't really unload on it. And Renton has taken a mark right on the goal line. Anderson probably should have give that a bit more air and she would have sailed over. So Kerwin, he releases now from half back. His kick's going to, oh no, it doesn't. I thought it was going to fall short, but Denham King comes up and marks the ball on the point of the centre square. He goes into the middle of the ground there towards Field. He's long handball over top towards Creasy. Who's going to win to the race of the ball? He does. He's almost, it slips a tackle. He goes one way or the other. He's corralled there by Johnny Fenwick. He's got Niski wide in Cooper Niski takes the mark 40 metres out.
She did that pretty well, Creasy. He got himself into trouble, didn't panic, just sat and found the option. And probably that's the difference, the option.
Yeah, and being a left footer helped him.
Yeah, absolutely.
He didn't have to come back onto his right foot. But you said that they moved and created where HBL were trying to push forward and everyone was standing still.
So the ball carrier's got somewhere to go to, and when you feel ball carrier, you look up, you've got a few options and you make the wrong one. Well, that's on you. If you look up, there's none. Well, it's not much you can do about it as he has a shot for goal.
And that's gone straight over the goal umpire's head. So I would say that's a sealer, Craney. 8:56 leads 3:9:27 early stages of the last quarter. And that was a good kick there from Kupiniski to put his first on the board for this afternoon.
Kupiniski, he's done enough this afternoon. Normally hits the scoreboard a lot more frequently, but no one really has this today. 8-goal high scoring. It's 11 goals for the game. These two sides normally score very heavily, so a bit of a surprise. Good goal by Kupiniski, and once again, Bunbury were out to create the overlap there, and Kerry Creasy, well, he didn't panic. As you said, John, that's an old header. He's not that old, but he's been around for a long time. Just waited and got the option.
That's it, back in the middle, Durnham and Fletcher. If Durnham wins a knock over the top, Anderson's going to run under the ball. He does. He picks up. He has a bounce. He can have another one if he wants to. Create the space for him ahead of the field, boys. He goes again. Good handball out wide to Piers Ferguson. He's going to handball back to Anderson. He puts him under all sorts of pressure. He now went Oliver. He didn't really want it. Fletcher picks up. Very lucky there. It was young Oliver. That's 50 metres, Fletch. You can't do that.
Oh, he gives it back, gives it back nicely this time. Yeah. Good on you, Fletch.
The umpire probably felt a bit sorry for him. Oh, that kick's gone over the top of Borlini's head. So picked up there by Saulis. He handballs the old 1-2 to himself. He's now in all sorts. That needs to be taken. You've got to try and get rid of it, son. That's dropping the ball. That's deliberate. Nope.
No, it's going to be throw it in.
Comedy of errors is what it was in the end. But again, that was knowing you're outnumbered. Just work the ball over the boundary line. So right in front of us, 56.
Well, he did that. It was a little bit obvious.
Yeah, a bit too late at the end, and it should have been.
Worked.
It should have been pinged. So Fletcher and Durnham, the ruck. Durnham's in front, but Fletcher's strength. He works his way. Saunders has taken high. Play on's a call. Yeah, fair call. It was a little bit
aggressive there,
as they say. So what's he going to do? Not a lot on offer. Again, not a lot of movement. Now Saulis comes up at him. So right in front of the HBL coach's box, Blake Saulis. Needs to get it in longer and quicker. He does. He goes to the top of the goal square. Humphreys at the back. A number of players. Good, almost a good mark there by Jodrell. The umpire didn't pay it. He's just squeezed that through. But it went to the left-hand side.
Did he realise he had it?
I think he almost marked that, to be honest. Kerwin thought he had it, but Jodrell was the one that came up with it. Play on now. Bilsich goes on that far side. He's got Gribble. He's got a yard or two. Comes back inside. He handballs over top to Niski. He's running down that wing. Stops props. Comes inside to King. He handballs inside to Williamson from Bunbury. He goes to centre forward. Horton set up there. Xavier Williamson for HBL. He gives it over the top. Heansford picks up a loose ball. He's well tackled. His kick goes picked up by Williams from HBL. Latrell May, Emmett Templeton, he can't. He tackles well the Bunbury player who slaps that over the line, and
it'll be a kick. It's out on the full.
Is it a kick? I couldn't see. The sun is actually glaring off that sign, Cranius.
Kick to HBL.
Xavier Williams for HBL on that far side, about 60 metres out.
That movement of the play by Bunbury was indicative, wasn't it? Their handballs hit the market.
Yeah, definitely. So the kick, Johnny Fenwick turns on a loose ball. He just handballs blindly over the top. Now Denham King, he can't take it. Niski can't make it. Number of players in there. Good work there by Hewer. He just stays low. He gives it back to Anderson. He's now got the player there in Templeton, I think it is, on the far side. Squeeze that kick inside, but well done there. Well read by Max Bilsich. He cuts it off high half back. Just chips that up and under, little golf chip into the middle of the ground towards Durnham. He wheels, keeps that kick low. He's got not a bad kick for a big bloke, and this time Horton has been able to slip his tag in Williams.
I think that's a big plus for the Bulldogs. Travis Durnham this afternoon. He's only going to get better as he plays league footy, but he's had enough. He's actually
against a lesser ruckman. He's going to be okay with his palm. You can see his hand. He'll give his midfield good service because most of the other guys he'll jump over the top.
Well, if you're playing someone like the Tigers who haven't got a dedicated nothing against Horsman and Pedley.
Yep. That's a good kick from Joel Horton.
Well,
so he's gone back. It's touched on the line. Still hasn't gone over the line yet. Woods picks up a loose ball. He's well tackled. He's throwing now. What's the umpire said? Play on. Fenwick. He's slung to the ground. Golter couldn't take it. Fenwick gets back up. He's down the line towards Saulis. He has to mark this. He was 3-on-1. Oh, well done there by Golter. He can't take it. Good tackle on Heisman by Saulis. Golter goes back in. He's stripped to the footy. Saulis goes back in. Boucher, he handballs to
eyes
Xavier
on the
Williams.
footy.
Bit of aerial ping pong. He's good enough to wrap it up. Shins it off. Umpire calls play on. Who wants it the most? Ward.
Olympic
Barraclough.
volleyball there,
Ward
Johnny.
went in low. Play on's a call. Oh, that's below
Yes.
the ankle. Play on. The umpire called it 3 minutes too late. I reckon the umpire below us has called that with the headset, which shouldn't be allowed, in my opinion. But anyway, that's only my opinion, Croney. Play on's a call. Jodrell, good mark in the centre of the ground. The arms were chopped there. That was the mark every day of the week. So he's just beside the centre circle. Anderson trying. Now he gets a loose ball. He receives a handball. He's got Big Fletch out wide. He's got Finucane running to the left. That should be 50 metres there. That young player in Munro runs straight through the middle of the mark, and that kick towards Hamish Ward. He bit of garlic footy there, rolls it off the toe towards young Templeton. He goes back to Hamish Ward, handballs back to Templeton, right on 50 metres, just up and under, into the pocket. Young Latrell May, this time he bumps.
Well
well
played,
done. Good body
man.
use there on Bilsich. And as you said, Croney, it was very well done there.
That's a good little matchup, isn't it, Bilsich and
Young May, yeah.
May? Thanks, Johnny.
He's... I've watched him play a few Colts games, this kid, and I know Dave, the Colts coach, has got a very high opinion of him. And once he gets a bit of a tank and he can run up and down the flank and create a bit of havoc, because he's very, very crafty, got good skills, and that time he kicked it very well. Did he? Yep. The boys
Very good
that
goal
one
by
through.
young
So
mate.
4:10:34, trail 8:8:56 on the Southwest Isuzu scoreboard, and to say it was much needed is an understatement, but they're hanging in there, but they're just not polished enough.
Not getting them quick enough, are they?
Yeah, they're making hard work. Inexperience is what's brought them undone at different times, and Bunbury have sort of sweated on that, and they've made them pay at every opportunity they've had. So
Quick around the grounds thanks to Geograph Civil. Busselton have actually put a few goals on the board. They are now 13 goals, 24, 102. Lead the Eton Football Club, 3 goals, 3, 21. So they'll be, that percentage is very and very important to the Magpies. So they'll be hoping to push that a bit further.
Yep, they'll need every bit of it as we get to the pointy end of the season. Durham this time, well done there by Finucane. He handballs back to Fletcher. He's going to get
That's
the 1-2.
nicely done.
That's better done. Onto the left boot. Good low kick. Unfortunately, he's kicked to a 2-on-1. Ward's leading. Well done there. He's picked up. He's ridden into the ground. Play on's the call. The ball's come loose, but Bunbury have the extra. I think it's Ninsky with the blue boots. He chipped. Oh, no, it wasn't. It was Field. He trips out to Ninsky in front of us here. Still inside defensive 50. Passes are snuck on to the boundary. From the interchange, he's all on his own, and that's what happened there. 50-metre penalty down the ground before he kicked it.
Gee, that
for
hurts.
whatever reason. So it's up to the centre wing now. True wing position. Perks. He just goes up and under. Into centre half forward. Horton. He comes from 3 deep. Well done there by Gribble off hands. He handballs the ball to Denham King, I think it is. He's unloaded as he kicks, and that's going to roll far and wide out of bounds.
Very gloomy
was,
now at Payne Park.
Yep, it certainly is. They haven't turned the lights on. I suppose there's no point now. We'll get through the next 10 minutes. But, yes, that was... don't know what the 50 was for. No one argued, so obviously someone
done something.
Yeah.
You got to be so careful nowadays.
Oh, it must have went out of the full, did it, Croney?
It did, yeah, out on the full.
I thought it bounced a couple of times, but
No, out of
that's
full.
about 200 odd metres away from us. So Tommy Heenan, he's had a good afternoon. He brings that ball back in, but he goes straight to
That's
Jared
not the best
Berraclough, and
afternoon.
that's how you put the mocker on him when you praise him. So Berraclough, will he come back through? He'll be second for the afternoon, as we. He's about 45 metres out on a 45-degree angle, so it'll take a good kick. That wind still hasn't dropped completely off, so Bunbury will be looking to ram this home. So he's got a fair run up here. He's going to kick from 45 metres out on a fairly tight angle is Jared Berraclough. In he comes. Good drop of the footy. Umpire sets himself, a number of players back. She rolls through for a behind off hands, and Bunbury move to 8-9-57. Lead HBL 4-10-34. 34 on the Southwest Isuzu scoreboard. Oh, lazy kick, Xavier Williams from HBL.
Put a bit of pressure on him. Well played, though.
Young Templeton, he's going to get done for dropping the ball. It was unlucky then. That was a horrible kick.
Heisman wanders in and goal.
Bang. Who kicked it?
Heisman.
Heisman or Creasy?
Oh, Creasy, sorry.
Yeah. I said that because Heisman was still on the ground. I thought maybe he got put on his backside as he kicked it. But, yep, good goal there from Harry Creasy. It's they had a 2-on-1 there, HBL, but the kick was lazy and you pay the price. Again, it's just been probably the second half of them is what cost them has been their lazy turnovers is probably the best way to put it. And Bunbury, again, have made them pay the price. So
yeah, he made the most of that, made the most mistake. Harry Creasy wandered into a very, very simple goal. And they've been all right, Bunbury, this afternoon. Probably not at their very scintillating best, but have done enough to take up the 4 points.
I think, again, I've said it before, what worries me with them is leg speed. I mean, HBL are missing a few players, but when they've got going on the outside, they've actually opened Bunbury up. It's just the polish that they've missed to make this game probably a lot closer than what it is, and maybe even have their nose in front. But Bunbury have been fairly durable with, fairly strong in contests and things like that. But I think the thing that would worry them going into Hands Oval and summer finals would be leg speed against, South are sitting on top, but Margaret River, they're quite a quick side. Someone like that, probably Bunbury and Donnybrook would be an arm wrestle because they're very similar. So we'll see how it all turns out later on. But anyway, Bunbury go back into attack at half forward. Williamson for Bunbury, he soccers the ball forward. He's trying to get the run of the ball. Now Matty Fenwick goes in for HBL. He handballs back towards his brother and Johnny. He's wrapped up. That's dropping the ball, son.
That
should be dropping the ball, and
that is 100%. Yep. But you're right there. You don't make a mistake, excuses for who's not there. But
no.
Add Blake Offer and Connor Caboni to the side. They add a bit of class, don't they? They're one-grab players, and Offer is a proven goal kicker. So HBL, while they're not going to pick up the 4 points here, not all is lost.
So young Munro, I think it is on that far side. It was a good tackle. Can he reward himself? He's going to kick from about 45, 50 metres. 49 metres, we'll say, Croney. Top of the goal square. Who's in the best position was Johnny Fenwick. Almost marked it to try and make up for the free kick he gave away. He's fairly willing down there.
She's still in there.
A few rag dolls getting thrown around.
Yeah.
I was trying to work out the numbers on the back, but they were in and out like bloody... yeah. So deep into attack for Bunbury. They lead 63-34 on the Southwest Isuzu scoreboard. Fletcher goes in. He picks it up himself, whacks it onto the right boot. Out there comes Ward. He doesn't take it, but goes over the top. And Munro, he gets a handball towards Heisman. He just slaps it onto the boot.
She
almost brings some rain down. Xavier, that swung, it would roll. You could see it was the flight of the ball. Was
that would have been tricky.
Way.
That went a million miles in the air.
You could see his body language trying to line it up. He was swaying like a...
Just a quick around the grounds too for Geograph Sybil. Bustleton have piled on a few goals. 15 goals, 25, 1-1-5 have defeated the Eton side. 3 goals, 3-21. A big win by the Magpies. Yeah, could have been bigger.
Williamson for HBL, he goes out wide. Who's underneath?
Can you see the players on the other
it's
side?
Getting pretty gloomy now, Croney. So Johnny Fenwick, he wheels around. He wheels out the boundary way. Screws that down towards done by Ned Galton. That was a very...
put that one down.
That's probably the best we've seen so far,
I reckon.
Croney.
CPR outdoor
that was
mark
a good
of the day.
Ward, he goes down towards half forward. Now Jodrell and the player there in field, is it? No, it's not. It's Bellini. Jared Humphrey squeezes out the back. He can't pick it up. He's wrapped up by Berraclough and King, and will have a ball up 55 metres out from the HBL goal in front of the scoreboard. 64 plays 34. Handy 5-goal lead to the Bulldogs as we tick down into the latter stages of the game today. Well done there by Parsons. He's handball. Now he picks up. Well, the umpire's called a throw. So Saunders for HBL is a recipient of a free kick. He just pops over the top into the dead pocket towards Jodrell. Oh, not a bad effort. Play on's a call. Thought he almost marked that. One way or the other. Left footer. Just get onto the boot, son. He does. This time, who's in front? It's the Bunbury player in... not sure who it is in the nice green boots. I think it's number 14 in Jackson Oliver. He comes across the face of goal and gives it to Babbage, is it? He squeezes over the top towards Gribble. 40 metres out from defensive goal. He handballs towards Bilshitz. He now releases King. He takes the ball from behind him. He goes one way. Should have kept running forward. Now it's a bit sloppy there. Renton, he goes over top to Gribble. He gives a short one to Bilsich on true wing position. He just chips down the line towards Parsons. He marks. He's called to play on now. Inside to Williamson for Bunbury. He goes towards half forward.
That's the way to work it.
Just read the flight of the ball a lot better. Handballs over the top to Dylan Heisman. He's going to whack this out of the park. He just kicks it into the fence. It goes over the back to one of the young kids who's going to run off with a new footy, Croney.
Well, that was well worked, wasn't it? As we said before, the handballs are hitting targets. They got themselves a little bit of a mess just in front of us on the half-back line, but good enough to work their way through to it. And Barraclough nicely over to Heisman, and Heisman wasn't going to make any mistakes from a metre out. So they worked it out pretty well, haven't they, Bunbury? 10 goals, 10?
10-10 plays 4-10, but as you said, the handballs hit a target. They didn't have to stop prop.
That's been the difference, and they're not behind. They keep on running as they go through.
Cleaner by hand under pressure, and to be able to break open the play where, as I said, in the second and third quarter, HBL just handballed at feet, slipped over, things like that, and paid the price. So at the end of the day, Bunbury have been the better side by, we're seeing now, what's that, 36 points, another 2 points, Cranium on the money.
Yes, that's right.
Anyway, King, his handball misses the play there in Gribble. He goes back out wide there to Oliver. He squeezes his kick to the far wing and passes. It's got Anderson. You're not going to get away from him, and he's rewarded for holding the ball there with Ty Anderson.
No, you wouldn't want him chasing you,
No,
would you?
the big ruckman was never going to get away from the racehorse in Anderson. Oh, that's a horrible kick, Ty, but he found young Crux and cut play on. Didn't go the 15. He gets it back for another stat. Chips over the top this time to Finucane. What's he going to do? He's a left footer. He's got Johnny Fenwick inside. He hits him up. What's he going to do? Props one way, then the other, and then he hits Ward, is it? Ward, he's inside the centre square. Horrible looking kick, but it's effective. It gets out there to Pierce Ferguson, is it? He's low kick, cut off there. It was meant for Jared Humphreys, but Jeff Saunders just drops into the hole in front of the scoreboard. You're right on his kicking distance here, Crane. He's kicking into whatever wind there is, and
it'll take a tricky kick from here for a young fella.
He's not the longest kick, so I reckon on a good day it will be on his limit, but he's kicking into a...
Thanks to City and Regional Fuels for your support this afternoon.
So Jeffrey Saunders, in he comes. Can he hit the scoreboard for the first time today? He's fairly close to the man on the mark.
Well, he's given a fair chance.
He's gone through post-sight, Crane. He's made a fool out of what I thought.
Once again, Johnny, he waved to you in the commentary box and you said, mate, I was never in doubt.
10-10-70 leads 5-10-40. So 30-point ball game, Bunbury's favour. Made hard work of it, but they got the result in the end.
It wasn't clean going down there, but yeah, it was a good kick by Saunders. That was a tricky little breeze that's going into. A lot of people had trouble kicking them. He just leaned back on it, and the goal umpire hardly moved. He would have been 40-odd out. We'll give him the benefit of the doubt for that. But
yep,
if
you asked him, he would have been 50 out. But we've seen Fletcher's come off a minute or two ago, Craney, when we were talking.
Harvey Norman interchange bench, he's had enough.
He carried the ruck all day. He looked a little bit sore, so he'll be looking. They've got a bye in a couple of weeks. He'll be looking forward to that to freshen up. But he's done a great job again this afternoon. So
who is their backup ruckman?
Young Hamish Ward's gone into the ruck now. He's given away a fair bit of size. But
is he the normal backup ruckman, or have they got someone to come in?
I'm just trying to think who else used to do it. Blake Offer, he's out. He sort of chips in, and Fletch does most of it anyway. But so on that far side, Oliver can't take the mark. Picked up there by Saunders. He gives it to Finucane. That's just slapped into, ricocheted back towards Johnny Fenwick. He's under all sorts. Handballs back to Cruxton. Again, there. A fumble. This time he's good enough to get a soccer to it, but well done there by Boucher. He just throws that towards Heenan. Heenan handballs back towards Saunders. He's got the kicks. A good kick. He kicked that to the advantage of Piper. He's got
That's all you want, to advantage.
Yep, exactly right. He comes out towards Fraser Ward, is it? No, it's not as Jodrell. He's on the left boot. Goes, just overcooks it towards Blake Saulis. Picked up there by Babbage. He's wrapped up there by Nettie Golder. That was a good tackle. Probably a little bit too hot to give himself a chance for dropping the ball or holding the ball, whatever they want to call it. So 35-40 out from the HBL goal as we tick down to almost full time this afternoon. Well done there by Ward. Wins or not. Well done to Jodrell. He's just dropped that. Play on's the call. Bilsich picks it up. He's dropped it. It's trickling towards the boundary. Jodrell, he's on the right side for a left footer, if that makes sense. He's a horrible kick. It goes off hands. Jared Humphreys, he just bellies that. He was probably 20 metres out. He's hit all belly of the ball, and it's gone right across the face of goal, out of bounds on the full. 70 plays 40 as we tick down on the Southwest Isuzu scoreboard to the latter stages of today's game.
Thanks to the Bank of Queensland for your support. Bank of Queensland Bunbury, always great getting behind us and support them because they support us.
So she's quite gloomy here for these last couple of minutes. Kerwin, he just drives that down the line. Big Durnham goes up. Well done. Off hands there was Oliver. He just squeezed that ball further down towards Creasy. He's got a paddock on that far wing.
There's some minors hats out there for them players.
Yeah, there's no one on the mark. I don't know why he didn't take off to start with. Anyway, it drives that low towards Heisman. He's marked 55, 60 metres out from goal. He wheels, sits it up towards Horton. He's got a yard on Williams, and he's taken a fairly well uncontested mark there. He'll go back 45 metres out, almost directly in front of Joel Horton. And what's he kicking for, Craney? 2 or 3 today?
That's his first.
First, is it? It's unusual for him.
Yeah, so you'll be looking to put this one through.
That's been a good contest. I said
it's been a terrific match up for Southern Lock.
Taking him well into the second half to get a couple of key possessions. Good looking kick. I'm going, well, that missed by a mile. It was a good looking kick, but it wasn't very straight looking kick, Craney.
No doubt about it. It was a beautiful looking kick. It just wasn't straight.
I think we're all looking for the finish line, just quietly. So 71 plays 40, as we keep saying, ticking down to the end. When Deans gives us that monitor, we can see how long's gone. But Piper, he kicks out towards Xavier Williams for HBL. Not much on offer. What's he going to do? He's going to come over the top. Oh, a horrible kick again. Gribble tries to fend off. That's dropping the ball, Jesse. Just probably his only mistake for the day.
Yeah, not often he gets caught. He's been pretty handy today, hasn't he?
He's had a good afternoon once again. He kicked a couple of goals when they needed. He sort of put his authority on the game fairly early. So Piper comes down toward Finucane. He takes a good mark in front of the Bunbury coach's box at half back. What's he going to do? Left footer. He hasn't got a lot on offer, so he's going to have to come down the line. Not a lot of height. Jodrell comes up. It's all Bunbury here. Oh, well done there by Jodrell. That's a very good mark. He just worked Duran under the footy. He's got Saunders now. Again, good mark there by Babbage for Bunbury. So it's just kick to kick at the moment. Everyone's just waiting for the siren. He's going to change the ball. He goes right out the other side. I think it's Perks.
Jamin King will get this one here.
Yeah, they got 3 or 4. It goes over top to Creasy. He's got about 20 metres on Boucher. He just chips that left foot over the top towards Williamson for Bunbury. He's about 75 metres out from his goal. Puts that up, says to Horton, you come at it. He's locked up with Williamson. Over the top comes Matty Fenwick. Play on's a call. Well done there by Duran, but he got away. I was going to say he's about to be dropping the ball. Field, can he pick it up? No, he can't.
What's that between your legs?
He's going to go over his head. He's not a bad effort in the end. It's just missed to the right.
What do you call that, a party trick in between the legs out? Duran would have been happy with that, wouldn't he? The basketball trick.
Well, the big fella in Duran, I thought he was going to get pinged for dropping the ball. He was just lucky enough to get his toe to it. And then Field was doing party tricks.
I reckon Field will be showing Duran. That's how you do it, mate.
So Williamson for HBL drives that out from that far side. Oh, good effort there from Pierce Ferguson.
Well played. Put him down, I reckon.
Yeah, that wasn't a bad mark. He's been in pretty good form, but he's had a quiet one today. They probably needed a bit more from him in the context of the game. Jodrell again, he just couldn't quite bring that in. Perks come over the top. She's gone out of bounds right across the far wing on the other side. 72 leads 40. And there she is, Craney, the fat lady's sung. So Bunbury run out 32-point winners, 10-12-72. Beat Harvey Brunswick 5-10-40 on the Southwest Isuzu scoreboard. And that's the afternoon here at PC Payne Park.
Well, that is the end of that for it. We're going to take a quick break, Johnny, and then we're going to come back to wrap it all up after the break. Main Park. And the game done and dusted. Bunbury run out pretty handy winners in the end. 10 goals, 12-72 to HBL, 5 goals, 10-40. In what was a very entertaining game, a lot of turnovers early. The wind was a bit swirly, but I reckon both teams... Well, HBL down a few very important players, Johnny. This is the post-game. Thanks to Linmark Bearing Equipment for your support. But, yeah, down a few players and important players, but showed a fair bit.
Yeah, they had enough of the ball. Like, they in field play, they probably had more ball across the game than Bunbury, but Bunbury were more, polished, especially that second half. Second and third quarter, if HBL, especially the third quarter, if they had been clean, amount of times on that far side, they had the footy, had the extra number, and just a fumble or slip over or loose handball, I think we would have had a game at three-quarter time that was, a kick either way, and then last quarter, well, you roll the dice and you see who really wants it the most. But unfortunately for them, their skill level and their, not say skill level, their fumbles, well, it is a skill error, but probably a bit of inexperience at times when the ball had to go over the boundary line or you had to kick to a certain spot and they went the wrong areas, where Bunbury, when they got it, when the pressure was on, they were good enough to say, righto, a senior head got hold of the footy, they directed the play to the right spots and they was able to find the goal a lot easier. But yeah, the scoreboard does tell a story at the end of the day, but I think Bunbury feasted more on HBL's mistakes, more so than probably what they did on their own play, and just blew the game away. So I just said to you off air, going into next week as HBL, they got to win games of footy to stay in the five, because as we just looked at the ladder, you can't say, well, we're in third, we're going to stay there. You're not, because they're starting to nip at your heels now. But I think from what we've seen today, I think I've seen a bit more than I thought I would see from with having who they've got out. They'll get one or two back next week, and I'd be pretty confident they'll go into next week and they should be beating. I think they play Kerry Park. So I think on that performance, even though today was costly for them, it wasn't that they weren't good enough. It was more the mistakes they made against a better side that cost them. I think they can just polish up a little bit next week. They should be right to win a game next week.
Well, they come home with Kerry Park, then they have the bye, then Eton, and then they got a tough one, South Bunbury.
Yeah,
so
well, they're not going to win the last game, so they should be looking to win the next two. They're
which
both
will
at home.
just about give them a spot. This is the Linmark Bearing Equipment post-game show. Let's go around the grounds for Geograph Civil. There was only one other game on this afternoon, and that was won quite easily by Bustleton, who didn't kick all that straight. 15 goals, 25, 115. They defeated Eton, 3 goals, 3-21. So I don't know, that would have brought their percentage up a bit, and it did. They brought them up something like 8%. They're sitting on 32. We now have Donnybrook, Kerry Park and Bustleton all on the 32 points. AMR sitting on 36 and HBL on 40. So very tight there, thanks to Buckingham, the Butchers. Let's have a little bit of a look at our awards, Johnny, and see how we go. The big moments, feed your family with Buckingham, the Butchers. Buckingham, the Butchers, we love them. They are terrific meats and great sausages. Love the sausages. I'll keep up on that. Where was the big moments in the game, Johnny?
I think in the middle part of the second quarter, Bunbury just really honed in on HBL's mistakes and probably lack of accountability. We had Gribble, standing 40 metres out from goal, like he rolled himself in dog poo or something. No one want to go near him. A player like that can't be left alone in such a dangerous spot. And he made him pay, and then he set up the next goal through a good handball. Then he runs through the middle of the ground. So in that 5-minute patch, he kicked a couple himself, I think it was. He set up a couple, and just his smarts to get into spots where it was real dangerous. And a couple of the younger HBL defenders just not aware of probably who he was. Well, it doesn't matter. He's got an opposition jumper on, so man him up in a dangerous spot. But I just thought that was a moment in the game where Bunbury were able to kick 3 or 4 quick goals. And from there, that was the difference in the game, because that was the margin all the way through to the end. So I just thought that patch in the middle of the second quarter for Bunbury, that was very damaging as far as the game went. And that's where they won the game of footy, I thought.
That's for Buckingham, the Butchers. Now the rising star, thanks to Hemp Brothers, Western Australia's most trusted hemp-based products. There was a few good young fellas running around there. Max Bilsich had a great duel with Lateral May. I thought that was terrific. Both of them players put their hand up for it. Eli Munro was in and about the stuff. Ned Golder, I'm not sure how old Ned is.
Yeah, he's only young. What about young Woods?
Young Woods was very good. Who should we give the
I think
Hemp Brothers Rising Star?
Young Woods was probably the clear winner of all the underage brigade. He had a very good game today. His first half was very, very good. You know, early on he took then a couple of marks, probably just a touch out of his kicking range into that early win. But he presented all day, even late, you know, he was still presenting. So for a young guy to be able to bob up and keep going all day, I think he used his size fairly well to his advantage. He knows his capabilities and he plays within them. So I thought he had a pretty good game today.
I tell you what, he's got a big future ahead of him. I know he prepares very well and he listens very well. So he's a good young man to go with it. And you're right, 4-quarter performance, that's what we're looking for. Very hard for young players to play 4 quarters in this level of league. No business, the Bank of Queensland, Bunbury, they get the coaching move of the day. I'm not sure whether there was too many that made much of a big impact from the coaching bench today.
There wasn't really much. As they rolled out, they pretty much stayed. I think it was just, I think both sides probably didn't have a lot to move around. Just try and keep you.
Probably the big one of Duran in the ruck, just to have a look by Torrens, just to have a look to see what he went for. So let's give the Bank of Queensland's Bunbury. I reckon the coach is about an even duel this afternoon. What about, this was a hard one to find this afternoon, the mark of the year, a day, the CPR Outdoors for sheds, patios, decks and blinds. CPR Outdoor mark of the day. Let's have a bit of a look who we marked down. There wasn't too many of them. Young Golter took a couple of good ones.
Yeah, he took a good one on the far side.
Jet Woods took a good one.
Yeah.
Jesse Gribble took an absolute beauty, and Pierce Ferguson took a good one.
Ferguson's, I thought, was the one. That was the one I was trying to think of. Him and Golder took one after the other, but I think Ferguson's, for mine, was probably in these conditions more spectacular.
Totally agree with you. We're going for the CPA Outdoor Centre mark of the day to Pierce Ferguson. It was a beauty, actually. He got a nice bit of air. And the goal of the day, Western All Perth Services, where local experience matters. Goal of the day as we start to get a very heavy shower.
It is
gloomy. You might hear it through the effects, Mike. The goal of the day, well, there was a couple of good ones. Xavier Williamson kicked a pretty good one. Let's have a look. Jared Humphreys kicked a good one. And that's about all I had written down. Oh, Jesse Gribble kicked a good one, but they'll probably go to Jared Humphreys, I would have thought, for that.
Long goal from there, but they needed it. So
and the pressure moment, we'll give it to him. He did it very well. He kicked it from outside 50. The man on the mark was inside 50. So
I'll tell you what, Croney, I think them boys are very happy if you can see what's coming down now.
I would absolutely agree.
I'm not looking forward to trying to find my way 5 metres across to the car, let alone be playing footy out there.
It is absolutely pouring. Now, the tackle of the game, the Bunbury Mower Services, Preston Power Equipment, helping you tackle the yard. I like the play on words there. The Bunbury Mower Service tackle of the day. Jordan did a very good tackle, as did Denham King. Brett Soulis did a very good tackle. In fact, it was Brett Soulis, I think, was just out in front of his.
Yeah, that was a good tackle.
That was
the one of Kings and the one of Babbage, they were fairly. Babbage's early one was a fairly brutal tackle. It was a good tackle, but that was fairly early in the game. I remember that one, so you can pick.
Babbage? We'll go with Babbage, eh? For the Bunbury Mower Services tackle of the. Helping you tackle the yard. How's your backyard looking, mate? All right?
Oh, yeah, green. Have a look at it out there.
And what are we up to? The WA Carpet Supermarket Best on Ground. Well, let's run through. John, we've got a couple of minutes. Give us your 3 best for HBL and then the 3 best for Bunbury.
Oh, I thought Fletcher was clearly HBL's best. Anderson and the skipper in Johnny Fenwick. I thought they were probably their better 3 players this afternoon.
And for the Bunbury side?
Fairly even spread, actually. That's probably why they won the game, because there was no standouts. I thought they worked real hard together. It was a, Creasy was there. I didn't think he, Gribble, I mean, he picks himself all the time, but his game, again, when the game needed to be won, and he was always there. I think if you went to the stat sheet, he would have racked up his 30 again today, kicked a few goals, so he definitely would be there as their best player. Probably Kerwin down back. He was very good. He was very good early in the game.
Rainbow at Payne Park here too, Johnny.
It's all happening, mate.
That's an absolute beauty. Go over and grab the pot of gold over there.
So I'd go Gribble, Kerwin, and the third one, Jet Woods. I thought his game was real good. I liked his game today.
Yeah, look, Travis Duran too. Just a he didn't get on the best on ground, but it'd be a big plus for the Bunbury side.
Yeah, they've found someone there they can use. I said against the other ruckman, he might not come up against Fletcher again, see how it rolls, but I think he would probably do enough against the others to give them pretty good service through stoppages and midfield clearance.
Right, our WA Carpets Supermarket, which is on Macomb Road out in Davenport. Who is our best on ground this afternoon, Johnny?
Oh, look, we say it all the time, we call him, but Jesse Gribble, the goals, the moments, the cool head, he can keep going. I think it was either him or Fletcher. I thought, Fletcher was in the losing side, so you'd go with Gribble being in the winning side, but you could toss a coin, I suppose, between them two, but I think you go with the winner.
That's amazing. They keep saying about age and that. I read nothing into age. When you can still perform as good as what Gribble playing, he's still good enough to play through that midfield.
Yeah.
As I said, he spends a majority of time on the half-forward line, loves it when he goes in the middle, but he's one of those players, and always has been, that can really bust a game open. We talk about players who can win games off their own boot. He is one of those.
It's called fitness, Croney. Doesn't matter how old you are, you stay fit, you can do things.
That's right. Actually, and we know that he works extremely hard to stay fit and get himself ready for a game. He's an ornament to the game, is Jesse Gribble. A couple of Hayward medals. Do we go through the goal kickers? We better go through them, I suppose.
That's your job.
For Bunbury, Parsons got 2. He got 2 very early, actually. Gribble got 2. 1 to Creasy, 1 to Williamson, 1 to Barraclough, and 1 to Woods, as 1 to Nishki, so a pretty even spread of goal kickers. For the HBL side, 2 to Jared Humphreys, good return to him, good to see him back playing league footy after his hand injury. 1 to Blake Saulis and 1 to Jeff Saunders, so just
and
couldn't...
young Latrell May, I think, does that?
And 1 to young Latrell May.
Yep, that's it.
That's right there, Johnny. No, so that's... makes it very interesting for the run home. Do we have the league ladder up there as it stands at the moment? So just having a look at the run home.
1 and 2 are locked in, you can say that. And then from there, HBL probably need to win.
Well, if you look at Bustleton's run home, they're sitting on 32 with 118%. So they're a bit behind in the percentage. But Bustleton's run home is South Bunbury, Donnybrook, AMR and Dunsbury. They're going to have to win those other 3, they're going to have to beat Donnybrook and AMR for the run home. Yeah,
they've got to win them 2 at least to give themselves a chance.
And for Kerry Park, their run home is HBL, Eaton, South Bunbury, Donnybrook. So you'd only think the Eaton one in there was the one that they pencil in.
Yep.
HBL, South Bunbury and Donnybrook, interesting games.
Yep, very interesting.
And for Donnybrook, they have who have they got? They've got Harvey.
Yep. Busselton,
Bunbury and Kerry Park. So, interesting.
I think they've balanced up pretty well now. They've just juggled a few of their players around. Obviously, they're tied on points, and getting Falco into their team has obviously helped them. Given them, he's a very good player. So, I just see, they brought Lewis Jetta in, sacrificed a couple of other point players. So, we said a few weeks back, they've just got to use their points a bit better to try and get their spread right. And they seem to have done that the last couple of weeks. They're kicking good scores, and I think they'll make it. So, it'll be interesting.
It's a great finish to the Southwest Football League
almost
season.
Like the AFL.
It is at that. In the earlier games today, in the Colts, Bunbury 11 goals, 672, defeated HBL 10 goals, 666. The first loss by the HBL Colts this season so far, and as Johnny said, Spud Newman wasn't overly concerned. He'd rather have it done now than later on. In the reserves, 4 goals, 4-16 Bunbury were defeated by HBL, 6 goals, 12-48. In the women's, which was a very good game of footy, Bunbury 6 goals, 6-42. HBL 3 goals, 1-19. And in the league, Bunbury 10 goals, 12-72 to HBL 5 goals, 10-40. If you had to pick a grand finalist now, John, would it be a derby? You've been around for a while and there's a lot of stuff can happen.
That's the obvious thing to say. We watched Margaret River, and I'm sort of banking on them getting all their players back into the one lineup in the next couple of weeks. I've been saying that for a few weeks now to different people. I just like the way they play, they've got the leg speed. So that's one thing I think if they played with their full or close to their full list, I think they would outrun Bunbury, and they've got the experience in there. So I think they're the side I think that will probably make it with South Bunbury.
A very interesting end of the Southwest Football League. It's been another great day of footy in the Southwest. This is Alan Crane on behalf of John Bajetta for SEN Spirit.